Hey, Dougie!
Oh, let's see here. We are preparing our live stream. We're setting up the meeting for YouTube Live. We're directing it over to YouTube, so we are probably live right now.
Yay!
All right, welcome everybody. Hello, this is Sean Symons, PPG Grandpa. Welcome to ClearPropTV.com.
Cool.
This is going to be all about crash videos, so definitely stick around if you're listening to us. Make sure you go to clearproptv.com. Make sure you go, this actually forwards to our Facebook page, so make sure you give it thumbs up, like it, and let us know what you want to see on the next episode. Boys and girls, this is episode 44. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. I cannot believe that we made it up to episode 44. Well, let me go ahead and introduce everybody. If you want to say a little something, you are more than welcome to. As always, we have Linda Anderson, our cheerleader. Woot, 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 in the house. Now you got a famous son that also does a podcast. What's his name and what's his .com?
Paraglidingtalk.com. Your host, Robert Michael, the one and only awesomest, right?
Right, absolutely. He is definitely the awesomest. Yay, Linda! Woot woot in the house. We also have Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane. He is our resident funny guy, comedian, and he says he's not a chef, but he cooks a lot. Welcome, Shane.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
Do you have .com or anything that you want to share?
I got legs are on fire from this fire that I got going on here. I'm sitting way too close.
It looks like, so I guess you're outside?
Yes, I'm in my backyard. It hit below 60 tonight, so I started a fire, and
I would too. It's cold.
It's just nice. So we're gonna have somebody else check to keep up on the chat tonight, so that I can sit out here and enjoy this while having a beer and hanging out with you cool cats.
Oh, we like to be cool cats. Thank you so much. And if you guys are watching this, Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane, that is his YouTube page. So make sure you go there. He's at 430 subscribers. Let's see if we can pump that up just a wee bit. If you want, no pressure.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Shane. We also have Brian Haybell Waller. Woot, woot, woot. Brian Haybell, welcome to the show, sir.
Guys? How's it going? I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I had a great one. Had a lot of turkey. It was delicious. If you never had fried turkey before, you're missing out on life. Mm-hmm.
We have fried turkey. It's delicious. Do you like the giblets? Talking about turkey?
Oh, yeah, the nibblings. That's the best part.
That is the best part.
I thought it was called giblets. Giblets.
Oh, yeah, depends on where you're from.
If you nibble on it, it's niblets. If you gibble on it, it's giblets.
Okay.
And if you're watching, you can see Brian Waller's YouTube. He has 339 subscribers right now. Make sure you go there and hit subscribe. When his link
I have one goal, and that's to beat Shane. He's at 430, so I need some help tonight. Y'all hook me up.
Help him out. We also have PPG Tommy in the house. You can find him at ppgtommy.com. Welcome, Mr. Tommy.
What's going on, guys?
What have you been up to? I haven't even heard from you in a while.
Work and more work. That's about it.
Man.
10 subscribers. I'm famous, guys.
He's got 10 subscribers.
We can do better than that tonight.
And I think that Shane last week was number 10 on the subscriber list. So we now also have PPG Tommy in the description down below. So at least we will hear in just a moment.
Gotcha.
Next we have JP Tulo in the house. What's up, JP?
What's going on, guys?
JP is our resident guy that likes to throw the laundry. He's the only person that I know that actually thrown a reserve, and it wasn't at a SIV course. And he's also our IT tech guy. He's the one that's putting up these things up on the screen. As you can see, this is JP's YouTube. He has 147 subscribers. Make sure you go there and click subscribe. And as you can see, he watches his own videos. Woot woot. You have anything else to say, Mr. JP?
No,
he's
that's
also
it.
he's also the only guy that I know that will touch and go off of a flatbed trailer at a fly-in.
I
Still love
think,
that video, JP.
I think we
That-
saw that. I think we saw
That
that.
was fun. Did you guys see the most recent comment about that
No.
on in my Facebook?
Driver number 11, Tommy.
A certain guy with rhymes with the name Schmel Danzy made a comment on that video. Super long-winded.
funny.
I
He,
know
oh,
old Mel.
he is long-winded.
Yes, I'll have to share that with you guys a little bit later. But
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now you're gonna make me. I can't even go on there now because I'm on my phone. Dang it!
it's pretty entertaining. Not gonna lie.
All right, we'll have to definitely check that out. We also have Doug Martin in the house. What's up, Mr. Doug? How are you, my friend?
Hey, Doug.
Doing pretty good tonight, so I figured I'd hang out for a while and see what the cool guys are up to.
Oh, you are the cool guy. So we're hanging around you, the cool guy. For those of you that do not know Doug Martin, he's been on a show a couple of times. He had an incident on the 14th of February, the Heart Day, and he went down and had a tiny accident, but he's back and flying right now. So we're very glad that you're back here and definitely with us.
Well, I figure if anybody has something to be thankful for, it's me. So
Absolutely. If you don't know anything about Doug, this is this his YouTube or Facebook? This is
Facebook.
his
I
Facebook
don't think
page.
it's on YouTube.
This is
yeah,
his
I need to
Facebook.
start updating my stuff again. Now that my voice is starting to come back, I'll start doing a little bit more.
Okay. Good
Awesome.
deal. So
That's
Doug
awesome.
is on Facebook. Swing over there and say hi to the guy. Doug is the coolest guy he knows. And
Yes, he is.
That's what I tell everybody.
That's what I told him. That's what I told Doug. You got to come on our show, Doug. You got to come here. And here he is.
And now we have to introduce our guest. He's one that doesn't need to be introduced because Tucker Gott already introduced him on the last crash video. Michael
Ah.
Pendleton, welcome, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
if,
Since
uh,
we're going to be doing a crash video series here, where we definitely need to have somebody on that has crashed and is famous on Tucker Gott. Wait a minute, we also have another Tucker Gott famous guy, Brian Haybill-Waller.
We've got a couple of them. Yeah, that's what I
Wow.
said. They got some stuff in common.
That is
So
so
we're-
awesome.
We're
So
collecting
what-
them, it seems.
I don't know what
So-
y'all talking about.
At some point in this podcast, Brian, you've got to tell them how being on Tucker Gott changed your life.
Definitely. While you guys are talking, I'm going to jump behind the scenes, fill up the comments or the section down below, paste this YouTube link everywhere, and I'll be back. So go ahead and talk with with each other, introduce Michael, show his little thing, and I'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
So to answer your question, Tommy, I can tell you exactly how it's changed my life. Today, when it got really cold fast, for the first time in my life, my internal thermostat worked. New metal in my leg, and it hurt. That's the first time. I have metal on my neck. It's never bothered me before when we got a big weather change, but I definitely noticed it with my leg. So it is what it is. But no, meeting Tucker Gott was cool. Making one of his crash videos is never really cool. So I'm looking forward to hearing Michael's story on that front for sure. Doug has a very interesting story we've heard before where, he had an accident and broke quite a few bones, and he's back up in the air, and we're definitely glad to see him flying for sure. So, Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself, man, and what happened.
Sure. I've been flying. I think back in August, I went to Midwest PPG up in Indiana. Dave and Matt, two great guys, trained with them, and came back here to North Carolina. And I think when this incident happened, we were kind of talking about it was probably my 37th flight. And I always said I wouldn't run out of gas because what idiot runs out of gas? And it happened to me. So, anyway, when it happened, another guy I know, a guy named Ben, lives on the other side of Charlotte. Met him at the fly-in as well over there. And Ben's got a paramotor channel or a YouTube channel, NC Paramotor, or Paramotor NC, I believe. I don't want to butcher that.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, Ben reached out to me and said he'd been emailing Tucker, and if he wanted to get that information to him if I was interested in doing that And to be honest with you, I wasn't sure I even wanted to put it on my channel. I don't know if you'd call it embarrassing. Like I said, I didn't really think, yeah, Paramotor NC, there you go, right there. Good guy, he's putting out a lot of videos. So I thought about it for a little bit, and I said, yeah, go ahead and do that. And sure enough, I guess it was last week, Tucker emailed me about it. And, I guess overall I thought that if it could help anybody with mistakes that I made, then it was worth doing and getting some criticism for. And you're talking about being in one of his videos. I usually don't look at comments too much, and I couldn't help it. Most people were pretty supportive about it. There's a couple people on there and going to make their comments, and that's fine. And it's nice you guys have me on this channel and kind of give my perspective of kind of what happened here, to just go into more detail about the decisions that I made and I guess my thought process while I was doing it. So if you can go back, if we want to talk about that, about kind of what happened, if you'll go back maybe 30 seconds there, I'd like to point out to where I was landing and then where I ended up going and why I made that decision. Right in there, probably went too far. So this is kind of a route that I took a lot from where I took off from right there. If you'll, yeah, pause it right there or let it play on just a minute. But this is kind of a route that I usually take. You can go ahead and play it. So I was making my way back to land, and go ahead and pause it there. So if you look to your right, obviously right below you, you've got a school, but up and to your right there, you've got the high school. So you see a football field and a softball field, and then you see another field right there. Well, that's the field I've been taking off and landing from. It's this flight particularly, but problem is inexperience. I didn't know really how far I could glide before, and come down. If I come up short there to your right, guys, there's some trees right there. So I was worried about coming up short and landing in those trees, basically. So looking down here at these ball fields, there's a lot of trees right around them, not to mention the light poles you can't really see there. So I never thought of that. Obviously, I think the first thing anybody would look at is that huge field there, and I should have landed right there in that field. And so that's what I did. I made my way towards that field there.
With the baseball diamonds?
The baseball diamonds I ruled out.
Okay. You're talking about the field to the left here? Can you guys see my mouse cursor?
I do see it.
Yeah, we see it.
So that's where if you'll take the mouse cursor to your right.
There's another school off to the right in the distance.
There's another school up here. Go up, go to your right. Right. Keep going to the right a little bit. Right in there. And I'm gonna move this screen here. Right where your mouse cursor at is where I was gonna land. That's where I took off from. Hindsight being 2020, which it always is, I think I could have made it easily to there. But there's trees in between me and there. Those low trees are about 10-foot high pine trees. And even that I
don't want to end up in those trees.
So I immediately cut that out. The diamonds there you see, the baseball field and softball field below you is really kind of down in a hole with some trees, and I just ruled them out. So obviously I looked to that field to your left where you were a minute ago. And so that's where I headed to. And as I got closer, I realized, it's full of soybeans, and soybeans are viney. I really worried about coming in on my approach and really just with some speed still catching my feet and just flopping face first down with that speed and not really dropping in. I didn't. So as I got closer to it, I thought, well, this front yard is just going to be perfect. But I was too high and overshot. And so as I overshot it, immediately what I didn't foreshadow, and this is, to me, out of all the bad decisions, I wish I'd have foreseen that if I'd overshot it, that I was going to put myself in the position that I ended up being in, was that I had that whole row of trees going by that road that I was facing. So that house driveway ran up that tree line, and that's where I turned to kind of go to, and I cut it too close and hit the guide wire.
Right over here.
Yeah, if you follow that video on, I come in the yard and then I bank to the left, and I just really wasn't thinking about how wide my glider was. I should have done a lot of things, but at that point,
hindsight's 2020.
It
so at this point, your engine is out.
At this point, my engine is out. I'm just sailing and trying to figure out where I'm going to go. And where I decide to go at this point in time, my mind is that I'm going to set it down in these soybeans, even though I didn't want to, because I was really worried about it catching my feet and me just really coming down hard face first. Because they're taller than they look. I mean, you can see the grass there at that house is cut short, and you can see how tall it is on the edges. So here still, I'm still thinking about, and I made the comment about being high. I wasn't commenting on how high I was. I think that's kind of what Tucker was talking about. How he took it. I was commenting on how high those soybeans were, and I really didn't want to come down in them. So right around here is where I decided I'm going to cut it in and land in this front yard. But again, I've overshot it. At that point, I don't realize it till right about now that I have. So I'm thinking about this road. What I should have done here was really cut it to the left and landed, but I didn't. And then I just catch the guide wire, and there it went. I'll tell you another little funny fact here. I've got a wife and 3 daughters. One of them drives, but so we have an app called Life 360 that we use to kind of basically keep track of our kids. And but I come down so hard with my phone in my pocket that it sent out a message to my wife and my daughters that
That's awesome.
That I had been in a car crash because I came down so hard. So props to that. You know, I wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
I did what any responsible paramotor pilot would do, and I threw myself between the ground and my paramotor.
You can't be breaking anything.
So,
can't be damaging gear.
But you know, so it worked out good. And then my phone started making a weird vibration. I'm looking at it, you know, and that's what it was. And my wife texted me, and my daughter texted me, asked me if I'm all right. So good for that. But yeah, so you know, it is what it is. You know, looking back, there's 15 different things I should have done, but that's how it turned out, and I'm thankful for it. That I wasn't hurt, and equipment was okay, and
Good.
got lucky.
I mean, missing those power lines was a blessing, man. I
Yeah.
assume, you know, that was close.
Okay, JP, you can
Yeah.
so
Hey,
Stop screen sharing.
yeah.
Sean, could you make that shareable on Paramotor for Beginners, please?
Shareable.
Yes.
It should be shareable right now.
Okay, it says it's just got like and comment on it right now.
That's probably because that's what they've done. It's also on my Facebook, so you can go to my Facebook, and you should be able to share that.
Got you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, Michael, when I had met you at the Rebel Field Flight, if you got a fly in North Carolina, you had just went to school in
I hadn't been out
Indiana.
long.
So how many flights had you had at that point?
That point,
Do you know?
I left probably 30. I'm guessing 30 flights. Yeah.
And you were, this place that this happened at was near your house, and this is where you normally fly out of?
Yeah, that's one of the fields there. I flew out of it. Actually, my next flight, I did basically, I flew for probably 45 minutes, but I basically made a little lap around and then landed and then took back off and worked on my spot landings. So I took my own advice and everybody else's advice that I need to work on that. So, but yeah, I usually fly to there, and there's another little town. It's got a field between the fire department and a park. It's really nice. I took out up a bit too. So haven't been back to Rebel probably since that fly-in when I talked to you. But I flew going back and talking about new guys and high winds. When I first came back to North Carolina, I drove back on a Sunday morning. I got back here Sunday afternoon and said, I'm going to go fly, you know, and it'll be my first flight without an instructor in my ear. So I went to Rebel Field to take off, and it's kind of late. And I think I botched my first takeoff. I didn't have a good wing and laid it back down and set up again. I got up there, and I was parked. It was bumpy. The winds were strong, and they really wasn't forecasting it for it. Winds on the ground were not strong. I made a short little lap around, sat there almost parked, trying to get back around to kind of land. And so that was my first flight without an instructor in my ear coming back. So and the next 2 flights were like that. And I'm like, gosh, surely it's not like this all the time. And after that, I've had good air ever since. So, but yeah, that was my first flight off radio.
Yeah, get you a helium tank, man, and some latex balloons. And when you don't know, you can just release a balloon when it goes up 100 feet and then all of a sudden goes sideways, you'll know.
Right.
Obviously,
That
there's
makes
apps
sense.
you can use to check that. Windy's relatively accurate depending on where you're at.
I usually get on, I believe it's what Ryan Carlton's like a hot air balloon site.
Yep.
Yep.
I check it a lot, and it seems to be pretty good. That and usairnet.com to kind of check. They'll give you like a 3-day out forecast that seems to be pretty accurate.
Have you been back in the air since your since the accident?
Yeah, I have. Actually, and don't want to go off topic too much. About 3 weeks ago, my dad had a heart attack and passed away. And so it's been kind of he's retired, and he was only 64. He was young. Luckily for me, he went up to Indiana with me with the camper, and so he lived 5 minutes from me, so we were really close. But so after that, I didn't fly for the flights after that. I got busy. I had some beach trips planned, and they were just fishing trips with the family, and I did those. And then we had some bad weather, so it was it was about a month actually from the crash, and it wasn't because I didn't want to go up. It was because I just stayed so busy. And then that happened with my dad, and finally I just had to get up because I needed that peace and time in the air. So went up and flew, and 2 days in a row from a new place, and it was perfect. My takeoffs were perfect. My landings were great. And then the next flight was, I believe that last video I posted, I put my brother on a Phantom 4 drone, and he did a really good job for first time flying a drone, and got some video. And I just did wraparounds and touch and goes or landings and set back up and go just to practice my spot landings. And those were all good too. So, but I did. I went about a month from the crash to time I flew, and that's been the biggest gap since I left school. But like I said, it wasn't because I didn't want to get back up. I just had out of town trips and then weather. But so far, all my flights since then have been just really great. So I'm thankful for that.
So what is the takeaway that you can tell the newbies that are listening to this or watching this? What is the takeaway from your crash?
Be mindful about your fuel, obviously, and to go into more detail. Like I said, I've been putting in about 7 liters on the 185 and flying for about an hour. I only put in 6 liters because I didn't think it's going to fly that long. And I've got a mirror, and this is something I'm going to work on. And if you're a new pilot,
get a mirror.
well, I've got a mirror. My issue is that I keep that mirror in my pocket on the left side, which is where my throttle is at. And I don't like reaching down here and getting that thing and letting go of my throttle.
No, so mount it to the side of your throttle, man.
There you go. That's what I thought about after the fact, is that I'm going to mount one on that throttle to watch it. So that is the advice I was about to say, was because I had the mirror with me, and it's just kind of aggravating getting that thing out. At least for me, I don't like taking that throttle out of my hand and reaching down trying to get it and messing around and thinking about dropping the mirror. So I didn't even think about checking. And just be mindful of your time. I did not plan on being up for an hour, and you're having such a good time that hour went by quick. And
I wonder if you can find one of those mirrors, the convex concave ones, that maybe you can put like right here. So as you're flying, all you got to do is go like that to take a look. And
I know where you can find one.
Oh,
JP knows.
Yeah.
And then Napa knows how.
Yeah.
That's where I bought mine. $2, a little round convex mirror, little piece of Velcro, put it on the throttle.
Yeah. No, there's little blind spot mirrors.
Good to go.
Yeah.
So guys, I was thinking about doing the exact same thing, and I decided against it because something creeped me out about putting my throttle hand down with that cable and pushing it up against my netting. I was like, if there's ever a spot that I could push it through, it worried me. So I got one of those little badge holders or whatnot, the elastic ones that's on an elastic thing, and I clipped it on the other side so I can reach down with my dominant hand, my right hand. I also use my dominant hand for a reserve toss if I need to. So I wanted to use my left hand for my throttle. I put a lot of thought into it. But
all right.
It just always, does that not ever wear y'all out? Do you guys check and make sure that if you do reach down with that throttle hand, that there's no way that can get through the netting?
Not on my motor. I fly an Angel. There's nothing that can get through it.
We know, Grandpa. We know.
So I fly the PAP, and it has enough holes and gaps in it that you can literally slide your entire body through. the cage there.
Doesn't sound safe.
No, well, it's a great motor and great unit. It just there's some big ass big gaps in it, and so I literally bought, or actually I didn't buy this. I think it was in Flight If You Got It. The guy was giving away the springs and the bushings for the 185. And when I went over there, I told everybody about it, and I was cooking. And when it came to me going over to get one, he gave them all out. So I got a mirror, and I took this mirror and I added it to a, I don't know what you call it, a janitor's retrievable keychain
Same
thing.
thing I did. Yep.
So it's actually on my right shoulder. So I actually grab it with my left hand, which I have my throttle on the right, and I'm able to pull it over and check out my fuel tank. The problem with that is all the numbers on my fuel tank are on the right side. So the left side, I'm just guessing because I haven't taken the time to Sharpie.
Just get a Sharpie and
I
draw it
know
on.
I haven't done it yet.
Lazy. Hey, real quick, I want to give a big shout out to Aviator Show in the chat, Eric Farewell.
Hello, Eric.
Thanks for coming in to check out our little show.
Well,
That's
JP
awesome.
beat me to it, man.
Hey.
it was my 10 subscribers that got them over here, guys.
Hey, what's up, guys?
I have a feeling Eric is just lost. He got confused.
He was trying to find a real show.
He typed in paramotor and we popped up just because we were live.
I talked to him about the show at Thanksgiving last week.
I had a feeling.
Apparently, what you have to do is you got to fry the guy a couple turkeys, and he'll watch your show.
Way to go, hey Bill. We appreciate it, man.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
We got a lot of people in the chat.
Mark George from PairSwagUSA.com. What's up, man?
Hey, I was trying like crazy getting here because I was listening to your conversation on the fuel mirror and being able to see the gas tank and everything, right?
Right.
So we have a solution for that. We have a fuel sensor system that we're going to be carrying. We're just trying to lower the footprint a little bit. But what it is, you basically have 3 sensors you mount to your tank: high, medium, low. There's a LED light that mounts to your throttle that you push with the side of your thumb. And once you hold and press that button, depending on what light it is, that's how much fuel you have in your tank.
And it just sticks to the outside of your tank?
It sticks to the outside of your tank. So what I did, it came to me to test. And it came to me with the 3M tape, the double-sided 3M tape, right? So I tried that. I cleaned it with, acetone and real good, and it stuck, but I could pull it off. You know what I mean? Not real easy, but with pressure. And I figured over time it's going to probably work itself loose, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is I took super glue and I put 2 drops of super glue on each piece of 3M, and I've been flying it with it now for 2 months, and it has not moved. And it's worked flawlessly. So the only changes that we're trying to make right now is it has a full Arduino board inside of it for the control unit. And we're going to put that down to a little chip, which will lower the control box. It works off of a 9-volt battery.
Definitely.
Cool.
I'd like to try that. I actually have a double tank. One draws off the other. So I assume I'd have to put it on the one that it draws off of, the main one, and put it on there. That's pretty interesting. I definitely like to. Yeah.
Well,
A double tank.
What made us look into it is because we carry that Rebel frame, and the tank is behind you. It's kind of the design. The tank is actually behind your back, and it's a little thinner, so it's actually kind of hard to get a mirror back there and look at it. So I was looking for a solution when I came across this guy that invented this, and that's where it came from. But so if I can get you one, Sean, I'll get you one so you can test it out.
That would be really awesome. And Eric Farewell is actually in the chat here. We're listening to our podcast. Just so you know, I was watching your podcast as I was, wanting to actually learn to fly. So this is pretty cool. I miss your podcast every
The Ask Aviator
do.
show. Yeah, we
Just don't do it on Monday night so I can do that and this.
Quick question. So
Yeah.
for my throttle, I don't have room to put a mirror or sensor, 3 lights. It's just a tiny little piece of metal tubing and a throttle. I'd have to get a whole new throttle to do to add a mirror or the lights to see how how much fuel I have. How I figure out my fuel is as I'm flying, every 10 minutes I stop recording and restart my recording on my phone. That's how I figure out how long I've been flying.
One of the things that I've done, and I don't know if you guys have this or not, it's an app called PPG PS. And on that, it has a fuel estimation thing on there. So you put in your burn rate and you put in how much fuel that you put in it, and it's pretty darn accurate. I mean, it knows with your fuel burn that you put into it. I mean, you have to put it in and how much fuel that you actually have in it. It gives you a pretty good estimation. Matter of fact, it even counts down in time. Like mine is about 2 hours and 34 minutes. So it actually counts down. You got 2 hours, 34 minutes, 2 hours, 30, 33, 32. And it gives you, an estimation. It even has the fill, where it actually looks like, it's full and then it actually drops down. So it's a pretty good app to have, along with, I use the PPG PS just for that, for the fuel. And of course I use my Fly Sky High, for my logging and of everything.
Eric in the chat says, just take a picture of your tank and look at it. If that's, if you take selfies.
There you go. Selfies. That depending, if you don't Sharpie it, it's really hard to tell. I've used that. I did the selfie and it looked like I had a lot of fuel. Then I went to the PPG PS and it just doesn't, I don't know. Maybe it's just the angle. Maybe it was a bad angle because I was down by my butt, so I don't know. Maybe I got a wrong selfie.
Speaking of selfies, I took my first selfie at Aviator on my 1-year anniversary of training down there. Flight 85. And first time I put the shoe cam on because I've yet to take my phone out of my pocket while flying. I see people drop them. Yeah, GoPro. And I flew a new wing, Spider. Shout out to Eric for letting me try some new wings. Appreciate it, brother. And looking forward to getting my new one for sure.
How'd you like that Spider?
I fell in love, man. I flew the 24 and the 26 meter. Yeah. I've been flying the Mojo Large for a year, so huge step forward. And I mean, the amount of flare authority is just crazy compared to what I'm used to. So I made some pretty sweet landings. I see how they make it look easy now. You got good equipment.
It's amazing. That's another thing too. It's like a lot of people that are wanting to get into this sport, they're like, I want to be cheap. I want to get a used wing, a used motor. And these people that are getting the used wings, even though, I got a Roadster 3 from 2019. It has about 350 some hours on it. It does not flare very good. I tried one of my friend's Spiders and it's totally different. When I sent it in for inspection, they said, you need new lines because you wore it out. So
that's because you fly for like 3 hours every time you fly.
2 hours and 34 minutes max.
Hey, real quick, again, I'm outside, out back, not looking at chat. Brian's going to be taking care of the chat. So anybody saying hi to us or what have you?
Oh yeah, Brian.
Hello.
Let's do a quick shout out.
Yeah, definitely. Please, let's go through.
We got Bill H. Eric, you got it, Brian? You in there?
Yeah, no, go for it, man. You got it.
Okay. Yeah, we got Bill H in the chat. Paris
John Wayne, Slow Days.
Mark Putnam, Nick Griffith, the regular suspects.
Joshua.
Appreciate you guys. Walter Priori.
Yay.
Joshua.
And we got a special guest, Eric Farewell, tonight. We've already given him a shout out.
That's super awesome of him. Amy George.
I think I saw the Flamingo girl.
Yay.
Pink Flamingo.
Pink Flamingo in here too.
Griffith.
I have seen no one because I can't see the TV from here, but I am enjoying my fire though. Just in case
Paramotor NC, which was commenting on your video, right? He was one that told you.
Paramotor Crazy just jumped in too.
Whoa.
Yeah,
whoa.
we actually got
David
30
Wolf. Wow.
Yep, 30 people in the chat right now, guys. That's pretty good.
30. Good
30
Lord.
people in the
bad.
chat and 16 thumbs up.
Yep.
Awesome.
Help us
Look,
out just a
Love
wee
you
bit.
guys. I love my
Hello,
chat.
Scary Berry down there too.
I love
Look,
my
hey, look how
And Scary
fancy.
Bird.
Gary Berry
Scary
groupie.
That's Scary Groupie.
Groupie.
Yeah.
That's the groupie. All right.
I have seen her all over the place, and she must be retired like Linda because she's on everybody's. Which, hey, thank you for the support. Not making fun of you. I'm just literally saying you spend a lot of time on YouTube.
Nothing wrong with that.
I got a
Nothing
question
wrong with
for
that.
Not at
Michael.
all.
Do what?
So, all right, Mike, I got a question for you, man.
Sure.
You know, Tucker did a review of your video, and you mentioned you were on the fence about whether or not putting that out there because of the negative feedback. You know, I had my experience with it. So far, what has been your experience? Has it been mostly positive feedback that you've gotten from people, or have you had a lot of naysayers?
Right. You know, I've not been on there probably the last 2 days. So I really only looked the first day at what was there. And most of it was pretty positive. A lot of people giving what I would call constructive criticism. And as a former instructor myself, I don't mind constructive criticism. There was only a couple that, and I started to reply back. I think I replied back to one maybe, but the others I just didn't want to even say anything about because it is what it is. But for the most part, it was pretty good. I think even Tucker jumped on one of the on a comment. I wouldn't say getting my back, but it basically kind of stepped in there, and it basically said kind of hindsight's 2020, you know, and that's kind of what I was saying, that I know that there are some things I would have done differently, but here, this is what happened, and if you can learn from it, great. And I think most of it's been pretty positive. Now, like I said, I've not been on there in the last 2 days to see if anything's new there. That's neither here or there for me. So most of it's been pretty positive. Like I said, if it could have helped somebody, then the negatives were worth it. So no, yeah, no worries.
Were you not trained or taught about the pizza cutting? I guess if you have a motor out, you pick a spot, and then so you don't overshoot it, you do the pizza cut. You go back and forth and smaller until you get over your.
I think my problem is that from the get-go, after the first probably 20 seconds, I decided that soybean field was where I was going to land.
Right.
My problem was at the last minute, I thought that front yard would be a good place to land. And by that point, there was no room to drop altitude. I don't know how low you can pull big gears to drop any, but in my head, where I made the mistake at was turning and thinking that I was low enough for that. So it wasn't that from the get-go I thought I was too high. I didn't ever thought that I was too high. I wasn't too high for the soybean field. I was too high for the yard, but that was a last-minute decision to go for the yard, and that's what got me.
And now that
Right.
you are working on spot landings, you'll be much better if this ever happens again. Hopefully it never happens again.
It doesn't, but yeah, it'd be nice to be a little more prepared.
Well,
Well,
landing's a lot easier with the motor on your back.
See,
Yes.
I don't land with motor on. I land with motor off. But I have had a motor out due to running out of fuel. But I was at 1,200 feet, and I was over the compound, which is a vast open area of land that I can land just about anywhere. But I was just kind of curious. I know your situation. I've seen the video, and it's just like, man, if you would have pizza cutted,
Yeah.
gone back left and right as you got closer to your target, you would have been, well,
Yeah.
one, you wouldn't have overshot.
Yeah.
But you did a
Yeah,
good
that's what I
job.
should have
I
done.
mean,
I should have, I guess, made that decision.
Should
And I
have,
guess that's
yeah.
something you could take. Make your decision where you're going to land when you've got some altitude, I guess. And I did. And I changed that decision at the last minute, and that kind of bit me. So for the soybean field, I was fine. My altitude was not an issue, but it was an issue when I decided to go for the front yard, but I didn't know it was an issue until it was
Right.
too late.
Yeah, I have a
I'm glad-
question. What is the trick when you got to drop altitude? Because I just, unfortunately, I just had this happen to me at Chris Wheeler's house a few weeks back, and I had to make an emergency landing because I didn't have any fuel left, and I had to land in his front yard in the middle of high line. So I had to, I brake checked as hard as I could to drop out about 15 feet, which I landed on my butt, but I didn't hurt anything. I didn't hit any high lines, but what is the trick when you've got to try to get down quick and get
Big
out of the
ears.
sky?
Big ears.
See, I don't know big ears. I haven't had the SIV yet.
Mm-hmm.
You just reach up and grab your
Outermost days.
I
Yeah,
think any
outermost
trick to
A's.
lose altitude on a paramotor quickly is an advanced maneuver. Whether it's spiraling down, tight S turns, or big ears.
I would, yeah, I agree with Brian. Our own Paramotor Crazy in the chat, he shared his SIV experience. His first time he went to pull big ears, he went and actually pulled the wrong lines and did a full frontal collapse, I think, because he pulled the middle A lines instead of the outer A lines, and that can go bad if you don't, if you're not prepared and read up on where. Every glider is a little bit different. In general,
And
the outer
some
A's are the
wings
outer
don't even-
A's.
Some wings don't even have the outer A's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
the older ones.
you do not
You
want
know,
to-
the maneuvers that y'all are speaking of, though, for a little higher altitude, I was about 100 feet off the ground, maybe 200
Okay.
at the most.
SIV
That's when you-
course.
when you just
SIV
start-
course.
In that
I mean,
situation,
I tried to make a 90, a 180-degree turn because in front of me I had high lines and I couldn't go right because of trees. So my thought immediately was to do a 90-degree and come back the other way, right, and do a U-turn. But as soon as I turned on that wing that I was on, I started dropping. So I didn't have a choice. I had to drop right then, and I just kind of dropped out of the sky is what I did.
I mean, the two things that have helped me a lot is whenever I'm coming in, whenever I'm trying to spot land, I don't take my eyes off of the place I'm trying to land and I start my S turns. I always have my eyes on that spot. And in zero wind conditions for me through skydiving and base jumping, I've learned that whenever you've got a spot that's getting closer, this spot here is moving up, this spot here is going underneath you, the spot that's getting closer, but we are on paraglider. So you have to take in consideration, you might get a gust, you might get lifted up back again, but that's kind of what I do is I look at that spot. I don't take my eyes off of it when I'm S turning down. And I try to, once I get to 100 feet, I'm kind of like straight line in, I'm looking at the spot that's getting closer to me, not the spot that's going up, not the spot that's going down.
And these maneuvers that we're talking about, you can really hone your skills at SIV course. Because when you're coming in, because after you do your maneuvers and you're coming into land, you can do different things. Like you learn the big ears in the SIV course. You learn how to pull your brake, and you're able to learn how much you can stall your wing and keep it stalled. I mean, some wings you can pull all the way down and just keep it stalled and keep on going down. But you got to remember, when you let it up, you're going to go down a surge. So there's a lot of things that this is something that new people shouldn't do. They shouldn't go out there and just try a big ear without instruction. They shouldn't try, pulling the brakes down and see how far they can stall unless you're at an SIV course or have instruction. Spirals, if you don't know how to do a spiral, that can be kind of dangerous to someone new also. So to lose the altitude, I would definitely suggest finding a good SIV instructor. Andrew Fuller's is a good one. I've been to his 3 different times. Really good class. But there's a lot of different SIV courses out there, so make sure you guys look around and check this. We are rolling on about 20 of 8, so let's go ahead and start looking at these crash videos. Now I'm going to say crash videos, but they're not really crash videos. They're more along the line of this is something that a new person could get themselves into. So what I did is and the link is down in the description below. This is a paramotor crash compilation. Everyone that's new has probably watched something like this. And we're going to go through each clip and take a look. And our panel is going to take a look. And of course, everyone that's watching it can take a look. And in the chat, let us know what you think is going on also. So in this first clip, we're watching this. What's the first thing that you see?
Me and my SIV course.
Yes, but this was at SIV course between you and me, Shane. I mean, so yeah, but this was someone trying to do something in higher winds.
Yeah, really high winds.
And we definitely don't want to do anything like that. I think the next clip is another high wind going way over beyond the wind capability. I mean, what, they got 3 people on there, 4 people on the wing. So this guy kind of gets it up there, but you can see that the wind is just way too much for him.
And I wonder what do
And
they
he
expect?
turtled.
What do they expect when they get up in the air?
Oh,
Right.
They're going to fly backwards.
Right. So the guy turtled also. Too much wind, holding back, and turtled. So what kind of issues do you think happened on those first couple clips? Way too much wind. What else?
terrible conditions. Yeah.
Terrible conditions.
Inexperience.
Inexperience with the higher winds. Exactly.
Right. Pulling too much brake. Probably didn't even need a brake or a assist on that inflation because of how high the winds were.
What about doing a Cobra launch?
That is
Absolutely,
with,
that would've
I
been-
think that's with more skill. When you have more skill, you know to go up Cobra, bring it up. But that might have been too high of winds also for him. I don't think that the pilot was skilled enough. What do you guys think? Not enough skill?
Agree.
Or instruction.
Yeah.
Or
I
poor
think-
instruction?
I think honestly, if you are not comfortable in those winds, you should not. You're pilot in command, dude. I mean, it's you gotta know your comfort zone, and that is clearly outside of my comfort zone.
And we also, I don't have the audio on, but the guy is revving up his motor, probably because he's holding the brakes and the throttle at the same time. And the motor was almost at full throttle. Look at the
Oh,
blade
wow.
spin.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
with the
So
motor
that's
running,
not helping him
boom.
trying to hold the wing
So
back.
that cost him a bunch of money.
Yes, it did.
So let's go to the next clip.
All right, I'm back in the chat here because I'm inside. It's a little chilly outside. I almost had to get my toes cold.
Okay, so once again, what's the one thing that he should have done when he turned around? First of all, he probably should have kited the wing, make sure it was
Mhm.
stable.
Mhm.
See, the wing wasn't even all the way up on this one. I think that if he would have kited the wing, watched the wing for a second, got it all the way up there, kited it, but he turned around, and right there, it's already collapsing on one side. And he hasn't even looked at the wingtips yet. And boom, another prop.
What about the wing size? I mean,
That's what I was
you-
thinking. That thing
if
looks
you-
huge.
It's hard to tell.
actually, I
It's
just
hard
got
to
that
tell in
from
these
Amy.
videos.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, if you're in the winds like that, I mean, you should be flying. I'm on a 27 meter normally. I mean, with those kind of winds, I'd be wanting to be in the 22, 24 meter wing just so you can control it a little bit.
Yeah.
Exactly. On this one, he gets it caught in his prop. So these high winds that people are trying to, let's go
Oh,
ahead and
God.
get out of this.
That's an
Mm.
expensive day.
Mm.
Yeah. So looking at these first couple clips, we see that high winds can cause not only damage to your prop, you're holding onto the brakes, which is your throttle also. So as you're pulling the brake, you're also spinning up your prop and you not even realize it. And you notice that there's some people around the prop too, which is kind of dangerous.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of these things are not only dangerous for you to do, but it's also dangerous for the people around you.
Yeah.
What do y'all think
Especially
so
the
far
carbon
about these?
props. The carbon props will shatter, and those strips of carbon, they will become projectiles immediately. So if you're standing close, you can get hit with a piece of carbon, and I've heard horror stories about people getting, shards of carbon in their skin because it doesn't just come right out.
That's a splinter on steroids.
Yeah, absolutely.
The carbon's not near as bad as the old wooden props. I know that.
Props don't seem to be. I don't even know why people are still using the wooden props. And this
Carbon
guy,
props are nothing compared to hay bales.
What?
No kidding. No kidding. In this paramotor crash compilation video, the guy's running and just kind of sits.
No break.
Oh,
I wonder how many people have done this on accident. In the chat, if you guys have sat too soon when you first started flying, let us know in the chat section.
I saw a video of somebody doing that recently. They went down on their knees and they held in the throttle and still got in the air.
Oh, I think I saw that one too.
It was pretty impressive actually, but yeah, don't try this at home kind of thing.
That's a good way to get your foot cut.
So what keeps me from getting into my seat early, jumping in, if you will, is when I take off, I try to foot drag. And as I'm leaving the ground, I'm like trying to reach for the ground, if you will. And that literally just keeps me from jumping in the seat. If I didn't do that, I would jump in the seat early every single time.
I just feel the lift. I mean, once I apply brake and I feel myself going off the ground and I'm gaining altitude, I take a seat.
I just keep running. I'll be in the sky. My feet will still be going.
Look like Forrest Gump.
They said you win a prize at Aviator at, if they have to tell you to stop running. And the prize was you don't have to buy a replacement prop.
Wow.
That's a good prize. I know it. When I was at Midwest PPG, it was plastered everywhere. Do not sit. I couldn't go into the bathroom and take a leak without reading that. And I think that's good advice. You see it a lot.
I just have to say, don't ground start.
Oh yeah. God.
Yeah. We were going to talk about that.
How many times have we seen ground starting at this last fly-in?
Oh, everywhere.
I won't watch it. I will not watch it. I see
there are countless stories of people mangled and maimed badly from ground starting.
Why do we think that is? Is that just I don't know.
I think it's because they don't think it's going to happen to them.
It won't happen to me. It won't happen to me. Like,
I mean, what about some of you guys who are been paramotor pilots for a long time? If there's anybody here,
nope.
Were you trained not to do it then?
Yes, I was trained not to do it.
You trained not to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Kyle O'Glee will tear your ass up if you try the ground start. He will get on you and on you and on you and on you. The guy, Brent Ferris, is that his name? That just cut his hand up and had all the surgeries. I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
He was a Kyle O student. So I mean, that's on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was an Aviator last week, and somebody from a different school was there visiting, just like I was back visiting, and they went to ground start, and an instructor walked up to them and said, "Don't do that. If we see you do that, you got to leave here. Can't come back."
And it can be so dangerous.
I just want to point out that Bill H said that he ground starts his trike all the time.
It's a little bit different.
Okay, we should clarify. Foot launch versus trike. Yeah.
That's different.
You know,
I'm not gonna lie. I was guilty.
The guy we had on the podcast, I can really see that happening too. Just the torque and letting off the throttle if you ground start, if that motor pivots. That's something I never thought about with ground starting. I was like, it's not that big of a deal. But it's that torque that you let off the gas, or you slip and fall and you put your hand down and that throttle is full throttle now. Like, there's just, that torque is so scary on your back, let alone on the ground with you not attached to it.
You know, I'll tell you something else that Kylo will teach, and that's to never start your engine without your throttle in your hand. You know, there was a video going around the internet not too long ago where a guy started it on the rack on his back, and he went to walk away from the rack, and his throttle wasn't in his hand, and it got stuck in the rack, and it went full blast and drove him into the ground.
Yeah, but he didn't get tore up. He didn't lose limbs.
No, he didn't get tore up, but still, I mean, it could have been bad. It could have went a lot worse.
And you know why? Another good reason to have your throttle in your hand is when you crank your engine. That's where the kill switch is.
No kidding. Yeah. Exactly.
So I watched the Mark, the one that you're talking about. I completely agree that you should have your throttle in your hand. I've never pulled my started my motor without my throttle in my hand. But worst case scenario, having it on your back and getting pushed into the ground and having to sit there until either A, someone figures out how to stop the motor, or B, you run out of gas for 2.5 hours sitting there driving you to the ground. But you have not gone to the hospital with loss of limb, stitches,
That's true.
and everything else.
Right.
But I do completely agree with throttle needs to be in your hand because, yes, that is where your kill switch is.
Doug Martin just posted it in the chat saying, read your wing manual. This is back to the big ears. Some manufacturers do not recommend big ears. It's very violent on some gliders. So definitely make sure you read it.
Again, a good reason for SIV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
My big ears were non-eventful at my SIV.
Non-eventful?
Non-eventful. It was just like, okay, I'm still flying. And it was not a big deal.
Did you drop altitude quicker?
Yeah.
Yes.
And 18 likes.
Yes, I did. I did lose altitude quickly. Not as quickly as I did with the horseshoe. But it was both to me were non-eventful. Sean had a different experience, but
what was eventful for you at SIV, Chef?
What's that?
What was eventful?
Speed bar, full frontal. I got in a whole mess.
You got an adrenaline rush, didn't you?
Well, yeah. I got yelled at from my instructor who yelled 3 times to throw the reserve, and I was still trying to fight getting the wing open, but it did open, and I didn't have to throw the reserve. But speed bar doing anything is kind of sketchy. I mean, it's actually kept me from putting my trims out as much flying now because I'm just like, man, this when this stuff goes, if it goes bad in a hurry and it goes really quick. When it was trims in and you're pulling full frontal, it's nothing. But I don't know what it is with that speed bar. It was amplified for sure.
I've heard a lot of things saying don't use your brakes. Don't, when you're using speed bar, you're just going straight, and that's just for speed. All right, next clip. Tell me what you think about this clip. He's doing it forward. And I see a lot of oscillation right there. And face plant. What is something that we can do when it comes to this oscillation here? This one is on takeoff. And I think this one, the next clip, is on landing. Oh no, this one is into the tree. All right, with those two clips, let's talk about those really quick. What do y'all think?
I'd say on the first one, I would have checked my wingtips and I would have boarded personally. There may be a fix for it, but if I'd have saw that when I was taking off, I would have boarded.
He looked like he was taking off crosswind. That's what, I mean, it looked like one wingtip, another wingtip. It just looked like a crosswind takeoff. He needed to reset up.
At least get control of the wing before you start trying to launch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm rocking back and forth like that, I'm gonna chill out for a second. At least get control of it.
I'm not going full power on that.
Heck no, it's like with grass mowing speed, didn't he?
I don't know about the second one. I mean, that's sort of what I did.
It's just overshot.
He overshot.
But it actually looked like he saved it because he didn't hit the tree.
Yeah.
He could have used a little oscillation on that landing. He would have dropped altitude a little quicker.
Yes.
John, are you there?
Yeah, we lost him. Hey, I had another question for our guest before we end up our first hour or whatever and go to the after show. So what gear are you flying?
I'm on a Parajet Maverick MY20, and I'm on a 24-meter Roadster 3. And I was thinking about this earlier, Brian, when you were talking about being on that mojo for that long. You know, I've been looking at this sport for a long time. I've married, got kids, so this was kind of a low priority for me. So it took me a while, but I thought I'd watched and read enough to where I was pretty confident on what gear I wanted, and I didn't want any delays. And of course, with all this COVID going on, there ended up being some delays on some equipment. But so yeah, I had my stuff before I went to training, and I think I did my first, I bet 15 flights on a 28-meter Mojo. And then I jumped on my gear and I went to a 24-meter Roadster 3, maybe on, I guess on the 16th flight. And it was a big difference there, coming in a little hotter on that Roadster.
This is while you were still in training though, right?
This is
You
while I
went
was
from one
still
wing
at
to
Midwest. Yeah. I think I left there,
Maybe.
I can't remember how many I had, but 20, 25 flights maybe when I left, 30 maybe, 25, 30. But anyway, so yeah, so that Parajet Maverick with the Moster 185 on it, and that 24-meter Roadster 3. Happy.
Yeah, most of the people in my class, you know, and other classes I've seen, don't start out with a Mojo. They end up going with a Spider or something like that. I just wanted to play it super safe, you know, fly the safest wing out there. And I made myself fly that wing for a year, and before I ever tried a more advanced wing. But you know, now that I've flown Spider, I think maybe I should have started with it a little sooner. But it is what it is.
Yeah, no worries there. Hey, have you flown a Roadster and a Spider?
No, I have not.
I'm wondering about that lightweight fabric and how it is bringing that up. A lot of times I fly here, I'm in Neil wind, and I'm happy with the Roadster, and I'm not going to get a Spider, but
now the Spider is basically the same wing but lighter, right?
Exactly, it is.
Yeah,
dynamics are the same. It's just that lightweight material.
I can tell you, I can hold a Mojo in one hand and the Spider in the other, and I was shocked by how much difference the weight is. That Spider is so much lighter of a wing for people to just to lug around in and out to the field.
Yeah.
It definitely pops up a lot easier. So, you know, I'm happy with it. I've got mine ordered, and this is what it's going to look like. Bam.
Nice. Love that blue.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a shout out to my granddad, my late grandfather. All his planes were blue and yellow.
Oh, that's
I'm a big
cool.
fan of blue. So I got
Very
the yellow
cool.
stripe in there. It's going, I named my wing already. It's going to be Bluebird. I get it middle of January.
All right.
Has anyone on the panel flown an F1?
Nope.
I have.
Never heard of it.
APCO F1.
Are we talking fighter jets or paramotor wings?
APCO F1.
Paramotor wings.
That's like a cross country, right?
It is an XC wing. It's pretty fast. I'm really liking it. I let a guy fly it this weekend that was a lot more advanced than I was, and he was really cutting it up, barrel rolls and spirals, but I really, really liked the wing. So he ran his I don't know what program he was running to test his or clock his speed, but he got 50 miles an hour and 0 wind.
Wow.
APCO F1.
Why does this wing sound dangerous? What's the catch?
No
Hey,
catch.
real quick.
No catch. It's very safe. I mean, it really is.
Screenshot.
Real quick, if everybody, since we got Sean back.
Hold on.
And then Linda walks away.
Linda
has a refrigerator.
I am completely banning Netflix on Monday nights.
We got Linda that's not here. We got Shane who's like 13 ghosting it over here.
Yeah, being super. There he is.
There's some comments in the chat about catching a fish with a wing. I don't know who did that, but you know that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, you can do that with the Spider. It doubles as a great wing and a fishing net. So
speaking of
go wrong.
Speaking of Ben from Paramotor MC, he's in the chat. I don't know. I just came back.
Linda, sit down.
Linda, sit down. Keep your dogs quiet.
Can't hear you. You're muted.
How do you know? I know. I'm telling you, my dogs are like my children. Like what?
We're waiting for you so we can take the screenshot, Linda.
Oh, sorry.
Ah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let
Everybody
me
ready?
know when. Yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Well, that's because you have my face in it.
Yeah.
I hear the stutter sound.
Mm-mm.
It's because I have headphones on.
It's my fault. I started all the screenshot stuff, being the paparazzi, and the JP's like, "Oh, those screenshots are horrible." Okay, let me do it. Okay. So, JP
Yeah.
does the videos, does the photography. He's our guy. Isn't it, man? He's it. Michael, I also subscribed to your channel today.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome. That's why I'm on Facebook all day, and I see videos, and I gotta, subscribe to these guys. Because you guys work so hard, all of you. You all work so hard on your channels and everything, and yeah.
I enjoy editing videos about as much as I enjoy flying. I had another channel at one point. I've had a video camera and a DSLR in my hand for, I don't know, I can't remember how long, 20 plus years, I guess. So it just kind of naturally goes together, in my opinion.
Sure.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
I love watching all you guys. I watch all your stuff. It's good. And I'm learning. I'm listening to everything. I'm learning everything you guys, are talking about and everything. Like no ground starting and all that. So how do you know when you're like, when is it? So I see you guys, you run and then you start it. But how do you know when the time it is to start the motor then? Do you have to be like up in the air or kind of up in the air? You know what I'm saying? Like you're running and then
there's 2 times that we want to, start the motor. One, once it's on our back, we can start it as long as it's on our back. Or if we want to pre-warm it, we have it on the rack on the back of our vehicle, then we start it up there. We don't want to ground start it when it's not on our back. When it's on our back, if we fall forward, we're not going to get, limbs cut up. Hopefully not. If we fall backwards, we're just going to turtle, maybe break a prop, but we're not going to hurt ourselves.
Oh, I get it now. Okay.
I want to add to the ground starting conversation.
Yes.
I have seen many people put the motor on their back, start it, and then take the motor off the back, sit it on the ground, and just let it idle. Technically, that's not the same thing as ground starting, even though the engine is on the ground idling. I've seen a lot of people do it. What's your thoughts?
Interesting. Okay. Good question.
I think it's the same thing as ground starting. I mean, accident can still happen.
I think that might be even more dangerous. Now you're going and grabbing. I mean, I put a gun down. I don't put the safety off. I make sure it's on just in case when you're picking it up, you hit it.
The argument is always on initial cranking. If you have a little too much gas in the carb or in the cylinder, that you'll get that initial surge of RPM that engages the clutch and you're not ready for it. Once you crank the engine, you've gone past that anomaly happening and they feel like it's safe
unless
to reach
there's
ground,
bubbles in the line.
So I mean that's the reasoning I hear
motor
from
running
people.
on the ground without a person. Yeah,
I think that the motor should always be either strapped stationary on your back to a tree on the rack. It should be secure if it's started, and your throttle should be in your hand.
I think that the motor's on, the throttle should be in your hand. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, most of the time I'm strapped into the glider before I even start my motor.
Me too.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've just seen lots of friends do it, and they argue that, hey, I'm not technically starting it on the ground. I'm starting on my back, and I just take it off and let it idle.
I think if there's any statistics to this, I think statistically, you looked at the numbers, it would probably be safer. You wouldn't have the accidents, but I think if it's not secured either on your back or on a rack, you run into risk of a problem. You probably got less of it, but it's got to still be there. I mean, if I just set it down to let it idle and I walk away, and what if somebody walked up and stepped on the throttle? I mean,
Exactly.
there's still just a lot of issues with it not being secure.
What if while you're picking it up and trying to get it on your shoulder, I mean, you can't have it on your hand at that time. Your other hand's not used to grabbing it backwards, and you're lifting a 40, 50-pound machine up onto your back. And it's just awkward. It's really awkward. I could see letting it sitting there and idle, maybe come over, hit the kill switch, then put it on your back.
Is that what you're doing, Brian?
Okay with that.
Yeah, generally I haven't seen anybody put it back on their back while it's running. They just crank it on their back, set it down on the ground on a level spot where it doesn't fall over easily, and just let it idle. Because I've been sitting there because, they tell you to let the engine idle for, 3 minutes or so to let it warm up slowly. It sucks having all that weight on your back, especially when you get a bum foot and you got to stand around and wait on the engine to warm up.
Right.
I see the temptation.
Are you the friends that are doing it that you're seeing?
No.
Hey, you're
called out.
I have personally never done it. I have seen friends that also had proper training that do it. Some of the biggest names you can think of in paramotoring that had training in Florida at some of the biggest schools have done it in some of their videos. So we know better. We just still do it. And that's
what is your thoughts on it, Brian? I mean, personally,
I think if the motor's running, you need to have it on your back.
Thank you.
Personally, for safety.
Because just like Tommy said a while ago, if you already started it on your back and then you're taking it off of your back, what are the chances of you hitting that throttle and going full throttle? I mean, It could happen.
I mean, you are taking the risk down. If you walked over to that motor, picked up the kill switch with 2 fingers, hit the kill switch and then put it on your back, that's taking a little bit of the risk out, but you're still taking it off your back with the throttle in your hand. I mean, it creeps me out. It's a loaded gun and you're pointing it straight at you with the safety off is what you're doing.
Hey, not to get off subject, but did you guys hear about the that actress that got stabbed today? Reese
Witherspoon?
No, with a knife.
I know he was gonna do it.
Oh my God.
Somebody was asking for Shane's joke of the day earlier in the chat.
It was Nick Griffin.
Yeah, appreciate you going ahead and filling that void there.
Sorry.
You're welcome. Are you talking to me or Shane?
Wow. Was there Googling corny jokes of the day or what?
Dad jokes.
He's our comedian.
Oh my God. I was locked and loaded on that one. I was ready.
Shane's our comedian. Yeah.
You had just a little bit of a smirk right before you said the.
Yeah, I was excited about it
coming.
I thought the delivery was pretty good.
My bad.
God.
Back to ground starting, a bad thing.
I don't know. I'd rather hear some more jokes, man. Let's hear one. He's on the spot now, but he can't come up with a good one.
Dave Wolf said Shane got me hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Same here.
Yeah, got me. Hey,
the first
with the spoon.
Go ahead.
Listening to the after show, I got some stuff I gotta catch up on tonight.
Oh boy.
Oh, if you need to leave, it's no problem. I mean, we definitely thank you for being here. Also, our guest, it's been past an hour. Do you need to leave also, or?
Good. I got a few more minutes I can hang around. I got a question too. I'm not trying to get off topic if you guys kind of got a theme going here, but with new guys, with new pilots, including myself here, but anybody else that's watching, what's everybody's opinion on time frames for your first SIV course? With your flight,
I had my first SIV 6 months after my solo.
How many hours did you have though? At 6 months though.
I actually did not have as many as you would think I would have. I was still relatively new, maybe 50, 60 some hours.
Okay. I think that's right on the part. I asked that question exactly a year later at Aviator last week when I was there, because they told us that initially that you need to wait a while before you have an SIV. And I got some clarification on that from the instructors, and their feedback was 30 to 50 hours, depending on your experience level. Some people go out there and they just kill it, and some people take forever to get to that level.
Yeah, I think the longer you wait, the more you have to gain. I don't think it's a bad idea to do it early. But once you get more comfortable under the wing, naturally, I think that's when you can be a little bit more, you can put more out there in the SIV.
Maybe not go into panic mode.
You need to
Yeah.
have
Look at it like
your
taking
spot
kids to
landings
Disney
down
World.
pretty well. You need to be able to do reverses very well, and you need to be able to kite your wing for, I don't know how long, Shane, at least a minute, right, Shane? He's shaking his head yes.
My phone, I'm sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah. So when we went to the SIV course,
Yes.
how long kiting that wing, waiting for the boat to go up?
Yes.
You were kiting for a good minute, right?
Yes. I think I had a maximum of like 130 or 125 or something. It was crazy. Like
my internet's
before
not
I
the
left.
best, so if you hear me.
No, we kited for a while, waiting for the boat to tension up and take off. It was crazy.
David Wolf, Paramotor Crazy in the chat says, take one ASAP. How soon is it possible that you can take a collapse? That is how soon you should take an SIV. I've heard a lot of people make that argument. Take one just as quickly as you're comfortable taking one. The sooner you take it, the quicker you're going to build confidence in your ability of your wing to fly under different conditions. I see that, but I also know if you're too scared to go up to 4,000 feet, there's no way in heck you're going to go up there and start pulling lines.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Yes, you will. You don't look like you're at 4,000 feet. The lake. So the highest I've been in a paramotor was 3,800 feet. I got pulled up to 4,500 feet on the boat, and it didn't even seem like I was even at 2,500 feet because the lake is so big you cannot judge how high you are, if that makes any sense. You don't. It was Amy. You got to hit mute. I think. It was really weird. And like I said, I've told everybody this right from the get-go. As soon as I disconnected from the boat, my very first pull, Andrew got onto the radio. It's like, okay, reach up and grab all 3 A lines and pull it down. I was like, whoa, we're not even gonna work into this. We're just gonna
ease into it.
We're just gonna straight just collapse this and cause me all kind of heartache. And it really was not. God, I cannot express to you how it was it was very exciting, but it was like I haven't posted the video yet because I'm going back and doing another SIV, so I'm going to put them together. But my face is like just beet red because I'm holding my breath and I'm pulling A lines and nothing really happens. And I'm like holding my breath, just waiting for the bottom to fall out. And nothing really happens. So I'm just like, why am I doing it? So my next course is going to be much better, I guess you'd say facials, if you will, because I don't plan to have very many because I don't expect the bottom to fall out as much as I had anticipated. We get into our own heads about how the worst case scenario is, and it was not like that for me at all. I know, some things happen and things change and it does get bad. But for my experience, I did not have any real true issues.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Shane, but did you not have an instructor tell you to throw the laundry?
Yeah, but I got it. But that's all.
This. Just kept yanking on the brakes. I hear you.
That was oh man, it's so hard to explain. I just happened to look up when I pulled brake the one time it moved, and I just figured I'd pull 2 more times, and if it didn't happen, then I was going to throw the reserve, and on the 3rd one it came out. But I
Shane,
will tell you,
the reason why I think that people should do this, I kind of agreed. Like, I've been kind of waiting. I kind of feel like it's Disneyland. You don't take the kids when they're 3; they won't remember anything. But after seeing you go through it, you were scared about getting pulled up to 4,000 feet. Now you're talking about how you had it while your instructor was telling you to throw the laundry. You obviously have a lot more confidence in your wing now, and that's the whole goal.
oh yeah. So true fact, and Brian can contest to this. I took 2 wingtip collapses at this last fly-in, and I literally looked up the wing. I was already actively flying my wing, so I was already looking up at the wing, and it was shooting back and forth. I got in some real bad rotor from the trees, and I took 2 tip collapses. I mean, one folded, came back out. I was like, oh, that wasn't that big of a deal. The other one came, wasn't that big of a deal. I decided I should land while I'm still, I'm still flying. And I landed and then turned around probably less than 10 minutes later and watched the pilot smack the ground in that same area.
Yeah. So go ahead,
Brian.
Shane.
No, go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to JB, and he's the pilot I saw go down personally. I met him at a month ago at Flight If You Got to Fly in North Carolina, and I saw him again in Swanee Parafest, and he did go down, and he had a compound fracture in L1, broke his back, and he went down pretty hard, and little damage to his gear, not much, but anyway, he went to the hospital. They got X-rays, gave him a back brace, and he was back out at the fly-in later that day. And me and Shane got to sit down and talk to him. I know he's in pain. I know he's hurting, and he wants to be back in the air. So, we're just we're thinking about you, brother.
Yeah, and hats off to Paramac. What is it, Paramac that he was flying, Brian? He's got a broken prop, and one quarter of the cage a netting was messed up. The rest of the whole entire motor and cage is in perfect shape. I was just like, whoa, like impressive, because Brian and I both, I've seen him hit probably 10 feet from the ground and then hit the ground, and then Brian was like, look, and just as I looked, like I only got the last 10 minutes or 10 seconds of before he hit, and I mean, there was gas all over his wing. JP, too low, and I put his wing up. We went and found his wing and helped him get that all together. And his wing was covered in gasoline. Like, that's all we smelled. JP tried to kite it and air it out as much as possible. But it was a bad incident. But I think, honestly, because of my SIV course, I think I handled the collapses the way that I did, more than I would. First of all, I wouldn't even have been flying before the SIV course in that kind of condition. But now I'm willing to fly a little bit more, I guess what you say, risky, but I'm not. I know what the wing can do and can't do, and I'm more comfortable flying. If my wing is, if I'm actively flying the wing, it's not because I'm not scared of the wing. I'm just knowing that you gotta do something other than just watch it, just dance around. And with the SIV course, it teaches you that your wing just wants to do nothing but fly. You are the reason. You are 99% of the reason why it doesn't want to fly. So hands up, let the thing fly for the most part. I mean, that's the gist of it. Let it fly.
Good advice.
Michael,
All right, Brian, so when we go in SIV?
Actually, I met Andrew Fuller at this last fly-in, and I've got my spotter ordered. And as soon as it gets here, I'm going to try to get in at SIV down there. I'm going up to higher altitudes. I've been up to about 3,000 feet now. Got pretty comfortable with it. I'm afraid of heights, so for some reason, anything over 500 feet, it just gets a little scarier for me. Even though it's safer, it's kind of ass backwards, I know, but it is what it is. I think a lot of other pilots share the same problem I have.
I do.
In my mind, I was thinking next summer. be around a year. I don't know how many flights I might have by then, but some things may change, but that's kind of the ballpark I had at right now.
Well, Michael, I would tell you to do it sooner.
Okay.
I wish I'd have done it. I did it within my first year. But I honestly, truly think if I would have done it within the first 6 months, I would have not struggled as much with confidence. And don't get me wrong, there's cockiness and then there's confidence. And I'm confident, but not cocky enough to go, well, I can fly in this. No, I still am cautious, and I will check the winds, and if I don't think it's right, then I'm done. But I have missed out on flying certain days because the winds were just a little bit out of my comfort zone, which now my comfort zone is a little bit open more. So now I have more of a flying comfort level, and I'm open to flying in a little bit more. Like JP, we flew in some crap this flying. Brian, we all flew in this. A little rougher airs on this last fly-in. I would have never even have pulled my wing out in any of that weekend, and I flew comfortably. I mean, I actually had someone say to me, "Hey, I seen you circle around. I thought you were landing. Then you turned around and went back the other way and circled back around." I was just like, well, it wasn't that bad at that moment. I circled back around and realized it was bad. I should land. But I mean,
I can see that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it gives you so much more of a eased. I don't know. I'm more eased at it, relaxed, if you will. I can't wait to go back and do full stalls and everything else. There's not a part of me wants to do it because I don't want to be scared. It's part of me. I'm going to be scared, but I know that it's going to teach me to be a better pilot, and that's what I'm excited about.
Exactly.
Just listen to yourself, man. Michael, just listen to your inside gut feeling. When you go to a fly-in, if there's a storm coming around over there and you don't feel comfortable going up yet, but everybody else is, like it's perfect, just listen to yourself, man. Just the best pilots make the best decisions. I flew for almost a year, and just literally in the last 2 or 3 weeks, at this flying in more turbulent conditions, I've seen other people go up, they're flying my same wing. I was like, okay, they're not para-park. I'll go up and try it. And my confidence level has just gone from here to here in the last 2 weeks. Part of that's flying the spider as well.
Exactly.
Listen to your inside gut. Don't fall for peer pressure. Go with your gut, man. Nobody knows whether you're ready for this conditions more than you do.
I think that's some good advice. That's kind of why I didn't fly it if you got it. It just didn't feel right. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna sit back and just watch. And had a good time doing that. But
Sunday morning, Brian, we were all supposed to take off and go fly, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really comfortable with these winds. And I mean, I didn't fly. Brian, did you fly Sunday morning?
No, I didn't. And Sunday afternoons when those storms were rolling in and a lot of other people were flying, and Chris Wheeler was there, and I really wanted to fly with him for the first time. And I was like, man, I want to get up in the air, but I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't get to fly. And you know what? The next morning it was beautiful and we got to fly together. So, it all worked out.
My philosophy on that is there's always going to be another day that you can fly, man. If you're not comfortable, enjoy the fellowship, talk to everybody, learn stuff, you know what I mean? Take advantage of the people that are there. But, I've been flying for a little over 2 years yet. I have not done a solo by myself yet because I believe in the buddy system. Even though I may have my phone and GPS and all these good things, if I fall and I break my phone and I've broke my back and I can't move and I'm by myself, what am I going to do? So for the 2 years that I've been flying, I always fly with at least another person or with a group of people.
All right. We got a couple of people that need to go. Tommy needs to leave. So have a great day, Tommy. We appreciate you jumping on here. Actually, I think that he's out. Let's see, Michael, you said that you need to leave, or can you still hang out with us?
Yeah, I'm probably going to head off of here. I got a few things to do tonight. Thanks for you guys for having me.
Definitely,
Well,
Michael.
thank you, Michael.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We're going to continue to look at some more videos. So thank you, Michael, and you're welcome to jump on any Monday that we're on here.
Thanks, sir. I've enjoyed it.
Always welcome, Michael. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's go ahead and continue with our fun little videos here. This is the Paramotor Crash compilation. The link is down below in the description. So if you want to take a look and see what we got going on, this guy is coming in. He flares and he falls back and he turtles. What do you think he did wrong on this particular one?
Ooh.
Couldn't tell if he slipped or not.
It's very jump. I'm waiting for it to come on the big screen because I can't really tell on there.
Yeah, he hit the full screen on that one.
If mine's jumpy, maybe JP can put it on there, or Brian can, or somebody can with a better internet connection can do it. Are you not able to see it because of my internet connection?
First of all, I don't see him out of his seat. Like you should be out of your seat. Your shoulders should be trying to hit the risers. I don't see that in that video.
Yeah, it kind of looks like he's sitting in his seat all the way through, just kind of doing like a foot drag and then falls backwards. Is that what you guys see?
That's what I see, and I that's not how I land. I land with out of my seat, my chest out in front of me with my shoulders hitting the risers and then flaring, and that way you're at the most forward position that you can be in. He's literally laid back landing.
I mean, in theory, you land the same way you take off, right?
Yeah. But if you go back when he comes in, he's still in his seat.
Yeah, he's still sitting down.
Right? Like he's not out of his seat.
Mm-mm.
Sean, I've probably watched every one of these videos ever, watching takeoff and landings and seeing, pulled way too much brake and all this stuff sticks in my head when I go to take off. Every time I hear my teacher still, hands up, arms back, when you take off, you look up at your wing, blah, blah, blah. I try to take off exactly the same way and land exactly the same way every single time. But these guys, I don't know.
I don't know. And like I said, we're not showing crash videos. We're showing things that,
technique.
Newbies would possibly get into, like the oscillation, like this.
Oh,
I see that all the time. Actually, I had this happen to me on landing at Live Oak. I came in, hit some rotor, got some oscillation, and was probably less than 20 feet off the ground and had to look up at my wing just to check the surge real quick, or not the surge, but the oscillation. And when I looked back, I was 5 or 6 feet off the ground. So I was like, whoa, that happened quickly.
that fly-in down in Quintana, almost every landing was like that. It was almost a 1 foot landing every time. It was terrible.
So there seems to be a lot of talk. I mean, I know a lot of things that newbies talk about is, taking off and landing, wing collapses. Those are the scary parts, What am I doing wrong? How about the oscillation? How do I correct that? Do you correct it, or you just try to come in, or do you stay on power and you just go up and go around again? I mean, what are the things that you would do if you were in a situation like this? As far as you're coming in, everything's oscillating. Would you? I assume that he cut power, but I don't know. If you cut power and you're oscillating like that, what would you guys do to correct it, or how would you land in that particular situation?
I'm not cutting power until my oscillation is taken care of. Unless it happens at the last 15, 20 feet, then my motor's off. Because usually about 15, 20 feet, I kill the motor. And usually the motor's only at idle from the last 100 feet. It's at idle until the 15, 20 feet, and then I kill it. If I'm oscillating at 15, 20 feet, I'm not killing that motor, because I'm probably going to circle back around and come back and try it again.
How about you, Brian?
Oh, I'm coming.
Oh, I didn't know that you weren't there. I'm sorry.
That's the mic on. It's all good.
We know.
In that particular video, I'm not sure, man. I have to go back and see it again. But I was going to add that I'm actually going to start doing something a little different. Like, we have communications radio when we fly. My dad can, reach out to me whenever I'm flying. We got a base station. And from now on, when I'm flying, he's going to randomly come on the radio and say, Brian, kill, kill, kill. And I'm going to always have to go to idle when he says it and find an LZ. So it's going to make me better at always knowing where your LZ is going to be and practicing spot landings. When he says it, I'm not going to kill the engine. I'm just going to go to idle and find, make it to an LZ and then climb out, but so that's something I'm going to do to be a better pilot. Did I freeze up?
Nope.
Everybody's being quiet.
No.
So does that mean if we have your phone number and we know you're flying, that we can give you a call and say kill, 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 and you're gonna
just a text message. Kill, kill, kill,
kill, kill, kill.
If you come to Walden Field and get on the base radio, you can do it.
I actually missed the opportunity this weekend. I don't know if it was so much for being scared to go this high, or it was 23 degrees at 10,000 feet. But we had two guys at Wauchula took off. I think Friday morning, they took off and flew up to 10,000 feet. Never once hit a bump or anything else. And I was like, man, I really wanted to do that. All I had was pants on and a t-shirt. Brother ain't flying up to 23 degree weather. Nope. I was just, I'm not doing that.
Oh man, that would have been a great video, Shaney.
Oh yeah, what? An ice cube floating back to Earth?
Yes.
That can get dangerous because you get to the point where you can't feel your fingers or your hands. We had a new guy go up when it was kind of bad weather at a fly-in. It's probably been about a month ago or two, and not that far, but it was cold. Let me tell you that. And he went up and he kept circling around. He finally landed. He goes, we're like, man, well, you could have landed like 2 or 3 times. He goes, I couldn't. He goes, I couldn't feel my brakes. I couldn't feel my fingers. I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't feel the pressure. He goes, I thought for a minute, this is the day I'm going to die. He goes, this is the day I'm going to die. I can't feel anything. But he finally got on the ground. So that, that comes to another point. You need to know your weather. You need to know what's going on in the conditions up in the sky that you're flying. If you're planning on going that high and it's going to get cold, I think what is the rule of thumb per 1,000 feet, how much it drops?
Oh, I don't know.
But Ventu Sky app, it'll show you the different levels and how, what the temperature is.
I used a Ryan Carlton, and it literally went from 0 on the ground miles per hour at, I think it was 58 degrees or something. And it never went above 6 miles an hour up to 10,000 feet. And it got to 23 degrees. I was like, it's perfect to run up there and do the 10K and come down, but I would freeze to death.
Mhm.
And I can't do it. That's just
Yeah, you got to think about that. You're not instantly getting up there. You got to travel up there. It takes a minute, you know.
and you're not instantly coming down either.
No.
No matter how many big ears you do.
Yeah.
There's a couple things that bring paramotor pilots down pretty quick. That's turbulence and cold hands. And your hands get too cold, you can't feel the brake, work the throttle. That's dangerous. Your legs get too cold, that's your landing gear.
That's right. That's right. You know, that's funny. I've been in the air before where it was kind of chilly on the ground and I'm flying and I go up a layer and it's like it turned the heater on and it got nice and warm.
I like that shot, man. Does it go in his prop? It definitely came up quick.
Did you guys watch Bart Berry's video on his heated gloves?
Yes, I got heated gloves, and
What did you think of that?
I don't go up unless I got heated gloves.
Yeah, he had the heated gloves. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
We got a comment in the chat that we're mentioning how much the temperature goes up every 1,000 feet. Calvin Pewitt says 2 degrees per 1,000 feet is the rule.
Thank you, Calvin.
It drops or goes up?
Drops.
Yeah, it should drop. Yeah. And then we have Ben from Paramotor NC. He says he sees a lot of pilots lift their feet like as they're like they're doing a landing on a long jump. And it doesn't work for him. Upright landings to run it out. So he pretty much lands like I do. We chest forward and put your shoulders as close to your risers as you can and out of your seat. It's worked for me so far.
Here's another pilot. Didn't check the brakes. Comes down, gets caught into its prop.
Almost
Salad.
get wrapped on the ground.
Salad. Oh, I didn't tell you guys I got 2 holes in my wing.
How did that happen?
Still don't know. No clue.
Grasshopper.
I was told. No, it's
Grasshoppers.
They don't look
Hold
like
on.
burn holes in the exhaust.
No. All right, see here.
Are
Hold
you
on.
smoking cigars while you're flying again?
No, I think anybody smokes anything while they're
Should not
flying.
smoke cigars when you fly.
I told you about those pyrotechnics and paramotors, man.
Yeah, right.
Man.
A lot of people don't realize too that if you get grasshoppers in your wing and you bundle it
Eat
all
your
up,
wing.
they definitely turn into little acid balls, and
Yep.
you end up with little holes in your wings. You open it up and you do your inspection. It's like, where did this hole come from?
If they don't chew their way out, the acid from them rotting burns the hole out.
I wonder how many people knew about that.
I didn't know about the acid.
Yeah.
There's this little tip on the ozone wings. It's called a leaky butthole. If you open it up and fly, all that stuff comes out.
Just a tip.
Yeah.
That's on the ozones, yeah, like the Roadster, and I think even on the Spider, when you fly, you can have those things open like that. On the Gin Vantage, like I got, they're just Velcroed shut, and you either open them up and shake them out, but there's no outer butthole.
No, that's pretty cool. So you can open it up and fly it and it cleans it out.
Yeah, the Roadsters are good for that when you're flying like in I guess sandy areas, like on the beach. You leave your little butthole open.
Oh, you guys, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. And
Somebody
that's what they're
creative
called,
came up with
buttholes,
it. It's
right?
just like the dude that named Uranus, man. I mean, he had to get some kicks out of it, right?
JP, I just Facebook messaged you my wing, and I'm still not sure how this happened. You can screen share that.
And we just have like a couple more videos here. Let's go ahead and scroll through these real quick. Maybe we can talk about them
I've got a kiting video
while we're
next
looking
week.
at that. More and more people are falling, getting their wing cut. You have a cutting video? And then this one, I think it's just, I'm going to try to do something cool like a wingtip touch and not know what I'm doing. So those are all the videos that we had. It's about 20 of 9. If you guys want to jump on and hang with us, it is officially the after party. We appreciate everyone joining us and trying to understand these crash videos that were not really crash videos. They're more along the line of, you know, possible issues that a lot of people could have and how to fix them. So if you guys want to jump in, I got the meeting ID and the password. Don't share that with anybody.
Disclaimer.
Oh, we want to do a disclaimer? All right, we normally have a swear jar. And the swear jar is not really, you know, it's if you use something consecutively, that a word that you probably shouldn't use over and over again ridiculously. But we're going to go ahead and put the swear jar away. And still, we're going to try to make this as clean as possible. It's just that if something slips out, nobody has to worry about donating to Resurgence PPG, which is what everything does. By the way, this is costing us money. We're uploading to iTunes and other places that cost us about $150 a year to have a podcast going, the audio podcast. And then this right here, it costs us about $150 or so to have the Zoom meeting that allows us to talk more than 40 minutes. So anybody that wants to make any donations, we totally appreciate it. That goes towards our Zoom and our audio podcast. We totally appreciate that. And we are now officially in the party mode. So welcome to the party mode.
Yay.
Yay.
Party.
Feel like in party things you swing around going, we need to get some, Linda. Let's go get some.
There's my pom-pom for Amy. Woo, Amy, I love you.
Okay, I like
Amy.
your hat. Your Santa hat on there.
I had to bring out my Santa hat tonight.
That's it. I'm gonna go buy some party horns. I'm gonna shoot off party horns when it's party time.
Hey, JP, can you throw out those pictures I sent you?
Amy, you can wear your party Santa hat next week.
Okay.
My gosh, the
And
chocolate armadillo.
here's
I don't think JP's
the
in front of his
chocolate
computer, man.
armadillo
No,
name
he's
is-
not.
Eyes.
The name is
Check
supposed
it
to be
out.
changed into Parachick Pies. I put the request in. They just haven't done it yet.
Parachick pies.
Yeah. Kyle ate 2 slices of my chocolate chip cookie pie that I took.
And
Yummy.
you got the
meant to-
.com, right?
.com.
Then he ate the whole pumpkin pie I took also for my Paramotor Fly Girls video.
Ah, yay.
Because we had to feature us at a job or a hobby, and then another screenshot with us. No flying was required, but it was cold. So what I had on is what I flew in on Friday.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull her video up if I can here in just
Yeah.
a minute. But Amy, I forgot to tell you, Paul, my boss, said he ate your pie all the way to Florida and all the way back.
So he didn't have any for the Thanksgiving at his mom's, or no?
Chocolate chip pie that she made in the oven.
No, it was chocolate chip cookie pie, the same thing Kyle ate.
Also ate your cookie and your pie.
God dang it. My head's going to explode. Oh.
That's the only way to do it. Have both of mine.
Oh, chef.
Oh, Shane, the
Pear
disclaimer has been posted, so enjoy.
I respect both of them, so I can't.
Oh.
Oh, come on.
Nah.
My
not
head
asking
is about to
you.
explode. I'm so glad when I can hang out with you
Fresh cup
crazy.
of coffee.
suckers. I
So
swear.
now I've got to hear it. Okay, I've got my fresh cup of coffee. Go for it. You won't.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
But I heard you when I went to the coffee pot.
What about a
I'm gonna
coffee
see if I
pot?
can get your video up.
You have to.
Why are you drinking coffee this time of night?
Yeah, I know,
She
huh?
goes asleep.
Cold
I
number
stayed up
one.
all night.
It's too early for me to go to bed.
Martin, I see where you were down at Cowglees.
Yeah, we went down there and let's see. I got off Thursday. We went down Friday morning. It was cold. A couple guys took off out of his yard. We went out to the airport and hung out for a little while, but it wasn't good weather. It was really bumpy. A couple guys went up. They didn't stay up very long. But then Saturday was a little bit better. A bunch of guys took off out of his house, out of his yard, and flew all the way to the Spring Hill Airport, landed, and we all hung out over at the airport. I got a couple of flights in. First flight was really, really bumpy. As soon as I got up, I knew I didn't want to be up, so I got down as fast as I could. Second flight was fun. It was okay, but it was just cold. I had a heated vest on, my BGD down jacket. I've got some flight pants that I wear, and my heated gloves. And I'll come down and I was sweating, but it was still cold. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was a pretty good turnout. We had Matt Minyard was there. David Ruff, trike flyer, he was there. Of course, Kyle was there. Sean and Rachel Hayden. I don't know if you guys know them, from South Louisiana. They were there. So it was. I mean, there was a bunch of guys there. But there were some guys from Illinois that came down.
Mark, can I ask you? Did you hear any kind of talk about being at a club, like a swingers club?
What am I missing?
Is this the lead into a joke?
No, I wish it was.
No.
I just know I've seen a video, and then I seen a guy that.
Okay, well, explain the video to me, and then I can tell you. I might be able to give you an answer.
Well, I was there, and I didn't hear about none.
Yeah, John Wayne was there. He didn't see
John Wayne
going on, did you?
No one said anything about swinging. No. Just one particular guy always talks about being at the club and swinging, but he's never with anyone but himself. So anyways, I was just kind of curious. Kevin's getting a call tomorrow. Shane's making fun of me.
Yeah, welcome,
again.
Walter, John, and we got Calvin Pugh joined in tonight.
I'm just wondering what he's swinging now.
A hammer or
Louisville Slugger.
Yeah, something other than what he wants to. I mean, anyways, long story short, I was just kind of curious.
You're telling me they have swingers club somewhere? I'm missing out, man.
Not that I can confirm. I mean,
you won't find one in Spring Hill, that's for sure.
I know that's right, and it wouldn't be one that you want to hang out at. I'll promise you.
Yeah.
I was swinging Friday.
Yeah, there was some swinging going on, but
yeah, with paramotors on your back hanging from a swing set.
I chopped my wing up while I was there.
What? Yeah, I heard about that. So what happened, John?
I just went to take off and lost one of my brakes, stopped and killed the motor, but it got a whack.
Your brake line got sucked into the prop?
No, I just lost it. My left brake just out of my hand.
Okay.
So I just stopped my takeoff, and when I did, the wing fell down, and the engine was dead, but I got a clutch, and it was just enough.
Damn.
Matt Minyard came and helped me patch it up, so it was all right.
Chef, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Always can hear you, even if you're down under.
I was going to say the only swinging you're doing is from your wing.
Yeah, dude, I have been doing some spiral downs that have been, I'm impressing myself. Like I'm losing, like you can feel your face like getting pulled down and stuff. It's awesome. I'm in love. I'm loving it.
GO2, are you? You're pulling a GO2, are you?
Yes, I am. Hold on, I'm in the middle.
Those SIV.
Actually, I just started it this weekend doing the spiral downs. I've been doing kind of little loops, but now I'm literally flat down. I look up at my wing and it's on the horizon, and we're just heading it, dude. I want to go up to about 6,000 feet and then just start it and let's see what happens. I probably only get 4 or 5 out of it before I get scared and come out of it and do it again. But
Hey, Once you're over 100 feet, doesn't matter whether you're 10,000.
Yeah, but it gives me time to recover.
Hey, here's you. Here, Amy actually got one of my landings at that nasty windy weather at Kyle's thing here. Y'all tell me what I did wrong.
I know what you did wrong on your takeoff.
You know, you didn't eat her pie.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that what it was? Let's see.
Full screen.
Yep, there we go.
You gotta turn your phone sideways when you record. FYI for future notice.
I didn't record it. I was
I
flying.
was talking.
See that hit I took right there?
Oh yeah, coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
look at that.
yeah.
Ooh, yay.
Your wing was waving at you.
Yeah, it said
And
pop.
drop. Man,
I mean, I was
yeah,
used to it because of Quintana, man. Every one of those landings were like that at Quintana. So I was already used to it.
Well, you know, there at Spring Hill, those trees right there are always a problem.
Yeah.
Look at that on takeoff.
That's
That
when
was
you
my
broke your
first
prop.
takeoff. Or second takeoff. Yeah, I cut my USB port, my USBs to my my lighting system on my hoop. I forgot to stuff them in the pocket of my harness, and I heard something as soon as I took off.
Everybody's like, hit a rock? What was that? It's like, I don't know, but he's okay.
All right. So I got something to share. Little shout out to JP. I know he's not paying attention, but
Oh, soccer ball. That looks fun.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I haven't released this video yet. It's gonna drop soon, but I'm gonna give y'all a little preview here of what JP Too Low can do. This
Dude,
soccer
that looks
ball is
like
3 feet
fun.
diameter.
Brian, that's a lot softer than a hay bale, buddy.
Oh, check him out.
Oh.
Check him out.
That's a whole new sport.
Dude. That looks like fun, man. That looks like fun.
Who did he
We
land?
had so much fun at that
Who did
flying. It was
land
crazy.
on?
Dude, that looks like fun. The only thing we did at Kyle's is Matt set up a bunch of cones and he would kill it and come in and foot drag in and try to knock all the cones down in one swipe. But that ball, that's got to happen. That looks like fun.
Yeah, we were releasing helium balloons. People were going up trying to get them caught in their risers. They were carrying smaller balls up to like 1,000 feet, dropping them, and actually getting pretty close to their targets. It was a lot of fun, man.
I
No
never
doubt.
carry small balls. They're always large, just so you know.
Oh,
What?
God.
Oh, wait, my microphone's on. Ah, dang it.
Yeah. That was hot, Mike.
Too much information.
Imagine that.
Golly, what happened here? All right.
I'll tell
You're
you
wrong
something
again,
happened.
Shane. You carry balls. There's one polished one on your head.
Yes. Don't worry about that one. That one's fine.
Bill H took off with his homemade trike there.
Yeah, and I've got a video.
Sunday.
I just don't have it where I can get it online.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if you know this or not, but when he took off, I was watching him. He couldn't get any altitude, and he was all the way out the end of the runway. He was fixing to head out into no man's land. He was trying to turn around. Yeah, you know what it was? Is he didn't have it. He didn't have a vent for his fuel tank. He came back in, and if he went over half throttle, that motor died, and he was flying that thing like that.
That's actually a pre-flight of mine. There's a little hole in the top of the vent cap on the Parajets, and I blow through that hole every time. Before I did that actually got clogged up, and one time I landed and my tank had collapsed to half its size, and my motor never stopped. It never missed a beat, but it was drawing on a vacuum, and it was just a matter of time.
I can't believe it collapsed it like that instead of just
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that it regains its natural shape after a little while, but that's something I pre-flight every time.
That thing had some suction.
It did.
I'm going to
That's
show you.
what she said.
Shane?
That's what she said. I said it.
Here. Oh my God.
I'm trying to
Dave,
open the
I'm
door
having to pick up
for
your
you,
slip
man.
over here, man.
Here's my brag.
Yeah, I was fixing to pull that up. I had it up, but I was waiting. But go ahead.
Is it not playing?
Bill.
There it goes.
That's Matt Minyard flying Amy right there.
And before that, I was flying.
Oh, he's giving her a ride.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, he is. What?
Look at that.
Come on. You guys are just killing me, dude.
Ooh.
It was awesome.
That's one of those rides that you give a new student that you don't want to train, right?
Yeah. No,
Trying to jump in, Amy.
He actually gave her the brake lines.
She's
and
barefoot too.
Yeah, she's
Is that a
barefoot.
dog chasing him? Yep.
Yeah, so that's Layla. It wouldn't matter what wing Matt was flying. He could change different wings or whatever, and 5 people come through their foot dragging. Unless it was Matt, she wouldn't run out there.
It didn't matter.
Craziest thing I've ever seen.
But that was my first time because I have it. Mark interviewed me with the Facebook Live video afterwards. It's the first time I was able to actually fly, like using the throttle and steering. Matt gave me a mini lesson up in the air. And so I flew him around for like 10 minutes. So he said, all you need is to fly around like this for an hour and then you got it down.
Amy, were you trims in or trims out on that?
I didn't even think to ask him. What was he?
Oh, you would know.
He's setting you up. Don't answer that question.
I think it was in.
If Shane asks you a question with a smile on his face, he's setting you up.
She said, I think he was in.
A lot.
Well, he is a little guy.
So look, God dang it, dude.
Oh. It was awesome because it's just another layer. I mean, when he was telling me how to do the throttle, I was so focused and everything that it would mess up. And then he's like, okay, now I'll take the brakes and the throttle. And I was like, how am I going to fit all this in my right hand? So it was just like,
oh no,
it's not going to work. It's too much. But the best thing was that I was too scared to look. So I just quit laughing, Mark. I stared straight ahead and then Matt helped me get the brake and the throttle and have to hold both of them at the same time. So it was great.
Amy talks. I have to take my earbuds out. That's it. That's just. It's safe. It's just.
You wasted that whole inhale of that vape.
I had the throttle and the brake at the same time, so that was a lot to handle at once when you're not used to it. I'll quit being rude. I'll quit.
You're burying yourself, Cal.
That's just what happened in the end. Sorry.
Just give her a shovel. She'll just keep digging.
You know what? Nobody laughed when I told the story, but you guys will laugh and turn it into something. Pull up my Facebook Live video that's on your Facebook when I came down.
I can't find it. Hold on.
No, that's what she said.
You say it, Amy.
I can't find it.
I was like, when he asked me how it was after I landed, I was like, I'm a complete dork on the Facebook Live interview video.
So Brian, did you get to fly with Chris finally over there at Florida?
Yeah, I did. My dog is choking, Chris Wheeler.
Yeah,
I did.
yeah,
We got to fly Monday morning. We hung around. I have this habit lately of getting the fly-ins before they're supposed to start and staying after they end and they kick us out. Right. And so anyway, yeah, I got to fly with them before we split, went different ways. And it was one of those situations where I would have never stayed up there had I not been a little more comfortable. I basically took off, and once you got to about 300 feet, 200 feet, you were stopped. 300 feet, you were going backwards. And so that was my first day flying backwards. I did one loop, and I was going to land, but I saw he was getting ready to launch, so I decided to out one more lap. And I guess he felt the same way because he took off, circled around, and landed as quick as he could.
Yeah, he came down and flew with us actually this weekend. Him and his wife, and they brought their grandbaby with them. And he was telling me about that. He said he made about one loop, and he's like, he knew right away he didn't need to be up there.
Yeah, and there was another guy flying with us, and he would go up to about 400 feet. He would cruise and get up to about 400 feet, slowly fly backwards, and then drop, go forward, go up, go backwards. He did this loop without ever changing directions. He was going forwards and backwards just by changing altitude.
Yeah, I seen his on Trike Flyer's video that Trike Flyer put out about 2 hours ago or so. I seen his motorhome in his video on the flyover. But
His son is a professional golf disc player.
Yeah, they were in the motorhome down there. He plays disc golf. He's sponsored. There's a guy I work with that actually he plays in a lot of those tournaments and stuff, and he looked him up. He knew exactly who he was. Emerson Keith, I think is his name. But yeah, he knew exactly who he was and looked him up and showed me how much he makes a year and all that kind of stuff. But they got a real big, nice motorhome. But I think they live in.
Nice.
Yeah, her daughter and husband, that's what they live in the off season. They park it at Chris's house.
Yeah, that motorhome costs more than most people's homes.
Yeah, well, he's sponsored. They pay for all of it. So
that's what we need. We need some sponsors, y'all, to pay for our paramotors.
Oh, here I am being a dork. Okay.
Matt Minyard.
Oh, man. You need to turn up so they can hear me be dorky. I
saw this
for the first time to do it. It was crazy.
I saw this on Facebook, I think, or Instagram.
Huh?
I think I saw this on Facebook or Instagram. I'm not sure.
Probably Facebook.
I drove over to Gillum while I was there and flew. So over there by myself. There wasn't a soul over there.
I was hoping to go fly the beach for my first time with Skinny Chef Shane, but forecast just didn't work out.
17 miles an hour? Oh, no. 17 mile an hour, you would have flown back to Live Oak trying to go forward.
Yeah. I don't know why the sound's not playing, but then you can hear me sound like a dork. That's me being jazzed after getting the throttle, and then he's like, y'all were getting crazy up there, and I was like, it was really fun. I mean, love it. I hate roller coasters and all that, but the dippity-doo and the swinging with the tip, I mean, it's awesome.
Dippity-doo?
Did you say dippity-doo swinging from the tip? What?
Dippity-doos is like eggs over medium, and then you put the bread in it, in the yolk, and that's dippity-doos.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Oh, we call that eggs in the basket.
No, I feel old now because there was actually back in the day, there was like a hair gel that my mom used, and it was called
Dippity-doo.
Dippity-doo.
It came in green or pink gel.
It was green.
In the jar, it was green. You could get green or you could get pink. Dippity-doo.
Yeah, the pink and green.
It was a clear container with a black lid.
I'm always trying to get the pink.
You know,
dippity-doo.
Yeah, dippity-doo.
Are you the pink?
Are you trying to get the pink dippity-doo, or are you trying to dippity-doo the pink?
They're trying to do something ugly too. Now he's going to tell you about getting a shovel and digging it in.
Dippity-doo.
Look at that.
There was one good thing about whacking that wing. I used it as an excuse to buy a new one while I was there.
There you go. What'd you buy?
I bought another Universal. I was flying a 23. I was wanting to buy a 25.5 anyway because I'm going to go to a trike, I think, for a while.
I think Mark's got
I was wanting a little bit bigger wing.
I hear Linda already talking again in our front room. Why can't you get the volume going?
What happened to Sean? I haven't seen Sean in about 10 minutes.
You got all that done. Gosh, I'm ready.
I think Sean and JP are having a conference. I hadn't seen either one of them.
Yeah. I didn't even know you got that video. That's such a puffy jacket, I swear.
You know, that thing there at Kyle's, that's the first time I ever seen a get together like that, where the only thing that they ate was meat.
I like it.
Yeah.
And chicken.
Yeah, and ribs. Yeah.
Chicken, ribs, Boudin.
Yeah.
I will
Mark-
be there next year for sure.
More
Mark, I
boudin
wanted
than
to
anything.
be there, man,
But
but
John did have sweet potato casserole and dressing that I brought too.
I left Lake Wales Friday morning.
Watch
and
how
it
easy
would've
they
been-
take off.
I wouldn't have got there till Friday night late.
I
This
told
is
Matt-
amazing. Watch this take off.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
told
like-
Matt
this.
that is the quickest I've ever taken off without having to run 30 miles. That's because we have the right equipment.
So this is tandem flying, right?
Yeah, because I still have to get my kiting down and everything, but I got to actually, like I said, use the throttle and the brakes and flew Matt around for 10 minutes in the air. So
Okay.
Yep, y'all see the video where the aviator instructors were riding a one wheel while flying a paramotor?
What was that, Brian?
Hey, did y'all see the video I put up on Facebook where the aviator instructors are riding a one wheel while flying a paramotor?
that's crazy.
Hard to believe, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it, but
Oh, that makes me think of something
I,
now.
I thought about putting some inline skates on and going out on a runway and taking off and landing.
Oh my gosh.
Not at all. Hey, she showed me a video today
That's what I'm trying to
where a
look
guy's on snow skis with his paramotor on his back, hauling butt on the side of the road, dude.
That's
He's
what I'm
hauling.
trying to find.
I'll tell you what, though, nothing can touch Bill Herman on his trike
Oh
at
my
full
God.
speed on the runway.
That thing is.
His face was behind his ears, Amy said.
I did. I tried to do instant facelift.
Uh.
He goes automatically behind your ears. He's going so fast on it.
so in the chat, a friend of mine, Mark Putnam, he just put in a question, if you will. What does a lesbian and a mechanic have in common?
Oh
They
my
both
God.
have snap-on tools. Now,
Oh
with
my
that,
God.
with that said, what does tofu and a dildo have in common?
I have no clue.
They're both meat substitutes.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
What do you call two lesbians in a cupboard?
In a cupboard.
In a cupboard, yeah.
What's the lesbian's favorite liquor store?
It's a
my
liquor. It's a liquor cabinet.
Oh my God.
Oh, good Lord. Stop.
Grown. And I don't mean grown up.
So these three girls were arguing over their boyfriends, and they all had the same name. They said, we got to come up with nicknames for our boyfriends, so let's name them after soda pop. So the one said, I'm gonna name mine 7-Up because he's 7 inches and he's always up. And the other one said, well, I'm gonna name mine Mountain Dew because he knows how to mount and he knows what to do. And the third one said, she goes, well, I'm gonna name mine Jack Daniels. And they looked at her and they're like, that's not a soda pop, that's a hard liquor. She said, exactly.
That is bad.
Oh,
Coach, was it
on
from-
another note, yes. So did you all start your Christmas shopping yet?
Nope.
I've been Christmas shopping all year. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he has. He's at his limit. He's done 2 years worth of birthday, Father's Day, and Christmas shopping this year.
I just sold a paramotor tonight. I sold my power to fly.
Ooh, there you go.
I bought my wife
Congratulations.
a new wing.
Awesome.
Red wing.
you bought your wife a new wing?
Yeah,
Is that what I
bought
heard?
herself a new wing.
Yeah, that's who I bought that new wing for. She don't fly, but I bought her that wing.
Well, she'll be real happy to have it, I'm sure.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Hey, what
John,
are you gonna do with your old one there, John?
I'm gonna keep it. I'm fixing to get another machine. I got a little plan here. So I
Let me
got
guess,
two-
you're getting
two
another
machines.
machine for your wife, right?
Oh,
Yeah. That's what I'm
Exactly.
gonna do. Now I'm gonna pick up a new frame, then I'm gonna get a 185, and I'm gonna do a little switch in here.
my wife just bought me a new wing. It's called Red Wing.
Oh my gosh.
Red Wing.
You have your Red Wings?
No.
I don't know where that thing is now.
That ain't what you said last night.
Will is looking for a Moster. That's what Nick Griffith said.
Just sold one today.
Yep.
Go.
I just ordered a new exhaust for my Moster.
You know what's funny is I was looking at the Vortex. Look, this is what happened. I was gonna try one of the Vortex exhaust since Sean bought one. I was gonna go ahead and order one and try it, and I ordered it last night. And the guy calls me and wants the paramotor, so I have to call Vortex back today and get my money refunded, which they did.
Well, I just went ahead and ordered the Y20. It was only like $40 more. So I said, well, I don't know if you know or not, but pretty much Visorati said no matter what I say or do, middle finger to my forehead, and I have to pay for another exhaust.
Mm.
Now the exhaust you're replacing is it MY19 or a 20?
I'm replacing it with a night. Well, I'm sorry. I'm replacing the 19 with a 20.
And was it still under warranty? Because I heard you complain.
Yes. Oh, yes, it was under warranty. They said that
really
in the picture the bushing looked locked up or what have you. So I did a video of literally taking bolt cutters and cutting the springs off and pulling the thing out and showing the bushing, and they just said, "Yeah, thanks, no, thank you."
Yeah, my 1 year warranty on my Viterazzi Moster MY19 expires today.
Yeah, well, I was well inside because I cracked it in Ohio, and I was well inside of my 1 year, and they're looking for any and all excuses of not to send you a new exhaust. And so when you go ahead,
I'm sorry to hear that. Yes.
Yeah, me too, because I had high hopes, and I paid a pretty penny for my motor and my setup just for them to literally middle finger to the forehead, have fun, see you later, don't care.
All right. I got that.
I have to say that's not the experience I've heard of a lot of aviator alumni having that have those engines. I've heard of some people that their 1 year warranty was expired, but they didn't have that many hours on their motor. The Viterazzi still worked with them through Aviator. So I just have to say I don't know if that's across the board or not. But I'm sorry you having that experience.
When is the last time you heard somebody deal with them with Visorati? Because what I've been told from where I went to school, who has gone to bat for me, and I'm very thankful for that. They're literally just finding any and every excuse not to cover, because their bottom dollar at this point is starting to get affected with all the having to send out all the new exhausts. So now that Jason, that you've met, Jason Russell Smith, he's had 2 exhausts that cracked and had both of them replaced and under warranty, and no questions asked. But that was at the very beginning. Now I'm
thinking the last case. Yeah, that's a good point. The last case I could think of, without singling them out, is probably about 3 months ago.
Yeah. See, I was told right from the get-go that this would be under warranty, covered, except for they are looking for any and everything that they can. If there's a spring that's not whatever, they're looking for any excuse not to have it covered. And I am fighting tooth and nail right now. I went ahead and ordered a new exhaust, but if I can, get this under warranty, then I'll have 2 exhausts. And worst case scenario, I have to sell the other one.
Where'd you buy it at?
From Glider Shop, Glider Sports in Miami.
Glider Sport, yeah. I think you're right though. I think if Aviator is in between there, I think you get better service from Viterazzi.
Well, I went to Four Winds, and like I said, they have stepped up and have fought for me very well. But they're just, every picture I sent, they just wanted to pick apart because They're
Yeah,
looking for
that's what I've-
anything and everything.
That's what I've heard.
Okay, John, this is what I sent to Bill and told him that this guy didn't have anything on him.
I saw this on Reddit today.
He's
Oh,
he's
yeah.
hauling butt on those skis, man. Oh, he's got a motor on his back. I can just now make that out.
Yeah.
Yes, I like it. Is he holding a beer?
Yeah,
he's like the guy on the one wheel that was going down the
Yeah,
interstate
electric
holding a beer.
unicycle.
Yeah, he won't be doing that for a while.
I'm trying to wait for y'all to quit talking because you can hear the video on mine.
I heard it. It went like this.
Exactly. And see,
So who said
I
that?
still think Bill Herman
This might be
is the
better.
winner, don't you, John?
Yeah. Well, all you got to do is look at those plastic wheels on there.
Dude, I was waiting for that thing to just disintegrate.
Well, I was too, but. And then you'd say, "Hey, Bill, this thing ain't attached." He goes, "Yeah, I know. I got to fix that."
If you don't, yeah, I know. He's like, we got a problem. We got a problem. And then he takes off, and I'm like, oh my God.
And the
Because
back
that's no
strap,
problem.
the back straps on the on his harness weren't even hooked up. I said, "Man, you're supposed to have them hooked up." Well, maybe that's why it's doing this and that.
He goes, let me hop on it and fly it real quick.
He's pretty fearless with it.
Hey, Mark, did you say something that you ordered the Vortex Arrow? Then
Yeah.
didn't?
So what happened was, I've had two paramotors that I've been flying, and I had the Rebel that I ordered and started carrying for the site, and then I had a Power to Fly Evo 8, and I had decided I was going to try a Vortex pipe just to try it, and I ordered it last night, and right after I ordered it, a guy called me and asked me if my Power to Fly was still for sale, and I'm like, maybe. And yeah, so he came by and gave me cash today, so I had to cancel that order. But I am curious about it. I know you got one coming.
Yeah,
I have
matter of fact, you know what? It should be here. It should be here by 9 o'clock. Let me go check real quick. I'll be right back.
I have a friend of mine that has flown his Vortex for the last year and a half. I want to say 80 hours or 85 hours. No issues with it. Absolutely no issues.
Well, you know, Chris Wheeler gave me one when I went and flew at his house. He gave me an extra exhaust just in case, because the reason I wanted one is because I put a smoke system on it, and I've heard half a dozen one, half a dozen another that the smoke system may crack it. So I was like, man, I don't want to be stuck somewhere and not be able to fly and be, pissed off,
Right.
So I was like, let me at least have a spare. And Chris needed a Viterazzi throttle because the inside of his Viterazzi throttle broke on him. So the day I went and flew with him, I gave him a throttle. He gave me an exhaust. But I was still curious about that Vortex. You know what I mean? I just wanted to check it out. I figured, heck, if I don't like it, which I didn't think I would or would not, I would sell it. But I probably would have just sold the other one.
I mean, if you were to have a smoke system on your paramotor and you were at a fly-in, would you just constantly fly over the LZ and lay out smoke the entire time that you've flown? Would you leave the area and then, as you leave, you lay a little smoke and then you leave, and then on your way back in, you'd lay a little smoke and then land?
I don't know. It depends on if you were behind me or not.
Well, I got my own smoke, so I'm good.
No, man, the only thing I wanted to do with it, I didn't even really get to use it because I just put it on there. And I just wanted to get up on nice, clear, sunny days and do circles and try to fly through the circles and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, that's the only not smoke people out,
Not 50 feet off the runway and just constantly, just like a mosquito truck that just bellows out just retarded smoke.
No,
not you.
I've seen the trike guys do that though.
Oh, okay.
I have images of y'all having smoke battles.
We can have some smoke battles. shotguns and everything.
Is that MY20 pipe supposed to be cured, or is it?
The only thing they did is they made another joint in it so that the vibrations are not so bad and the binding.
My a friend of mine's I just flew with this past weekend, Jason. He's got, I want to say, over 100 hours on his exhaust with absolutely no issues. And that dude fills his tank up and leaves, and he'll come back when it's empty. And I mean, he's much harder on his motor than I am on mine. And I broke my original prop at 71 hours, and then I broke his repaired exhaust after I had it for 12 hours, and then I repaired it and then flew it for another 8 hours and broke it again. So I'm done repairing them. I bought a new exhaust, and I'm waiting for it to show up any day now.
You know what's funny is I've done a lot of flying in the 2 years that I've flown, and I've had 2 Monsters, and one of them I bought used, and it had, when I got done with it, it probably had 150 hours on it, and it never cracked an exhaust or anything.
So for those of y'all talking about exhaust lasting a long time, do you let the engine warm up slowly every time you fly?
I do.
I have the same ritual every time. I'll go lay my wing out. I will start my motor up. I will buckle in. I will walk out to my wing. At that point, I do a low idle a low rev up, if you will. And then I do a high rev up for maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And then I hook in. As I'm hooking in, the motor's still running. And then I set up to go. And once I get up to 50, 60 feet, I let off. I don't even do full throttle. Actually, with my motor, I can't even do full throttle because something's wrong with it. I don't know. Anyways,
that doesn't sound good.
What? Something's wrong with it.
Sounds like.
Can we elaborate on that a little bit?
If I hold
full power,
if I hit full throttle, full power, whatever you want to call it, longer than 3 seconds, it sputters and then goes back into. I've changed spark plugs. I've rebuilt the carburetor.
So if it's only lasting 3 seconds, we can't even call you a minute man.
No, you can't. That's why I keep my head shaved.
That's right.
More aerodynamic.
Bro, no.
No, I think the general consensus I've heard from people that it sounds like the people that let their engines start up or warm up slowly get a lot more hours out of their MY19 than people that are cranking it and just going full throttle, warming it up. I mean, obviously that's bad for any engine. Yeah, that's not good. You got to let the oil get into the head.
I don't think that, Brian, I don't think that's the issue at all. There's so many failures. I don't think it matters how you warm it up. That's not the issue. The issue is obviously a metal problem, fatigue, crap metal.
Mine has always been warmed up.
All vibrations.
And when mine blew up, it was 1 hour and 20 minutes into flight. So, I mean, it was perfectly fine. 1 hour and 20 minutes into flight, boom. So, I mean, it was plenty warmed up.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about there being a defective run of pipes on the NY19, that there was a defect in the metal and the processing and how they forged it, that they just got some bad pipes.
You have guys like 15 hours and the pipe's cracked. Other guys, it's like 100 and something hours. So it's not a matter of warming it up. I think it's really just a factor that they have a problem because that's why they've had to fix it.
I disagree. I think it is a contributing factor for sure.
Oh, well, I specifically think it's in the metal itself.
No, it is.
Definitely.
I will.
Yeah.
They've had
a failure in the material.
They have had, I don't even countless thousands of people have cracked exhaust.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me that
That's
every one of them do not warm up their motor exactly the way that they're supposed to? I mean, you have thousands of cracked exhaust.
Right. You didn't have that on the classics.
No, the Y18s didn't do it. They got a crappy shipment of 19s in, and literally they were like, they tried to cover it up. Then they tried this and that. And now, like at Palm Bay Fly-In, I met Shannon Lauren from Four Winds, and he's like, "Hey, did you get the new springs? These springs are supposed to keep the pipe from cracking. They're less." I'm serious. This is exactly when I changed out the bushing and the 4 springs. I changed those out because I was told I had less than 40 hours on my first set of on my first bushing, less than 38 or 39 hours on my second bushing. Now these are 50-hour bushings. They tell me that my bushing is non-existent on when I took the bushing out.
And bushings have nothing to do with this cracking right here.
No,
correct.
That is a failure in material right there. You can easily see that the way it's cracked.
I mean, this one is, you can see it's cracked all the way through, and then you can see it underneath of it.
And the thing is they're all cracking right there in the same spot. I've seen a whole section blow out of that.
And it's not cracking the weld. It's actually cracking the material.
Correct.
I mean, this boils down to everybody wants to fly the lightest paramotor out there, and they're making things thinner and a little bit, to save weight here and there. And the pipes probably got a little bit thinner, but I mean, there's a reason that I just asked y'all if you let them warm up slowly. I mean, obviously that's got to have an effect on it.
I would be interested in see the locations of the cracked pipes. Where are the people located most? Is it up north where it's cooler area?
I'm in Florida. Let me go get my pipe out of the shed. Hold on. I'll be right back. Oh, this is bull.
I'm pretty sure the locations are.
Well, I'm just wondering, weather, air, salt water. Kevin mentioned something the other night. Kevin Can Fly mentioned something I've never heard of before, to coat your motor down if you're going to fly at the beach with WD-40. So when you get done flying, you can wash it off and it just kind of comes off and it doesn't rust your stuff. So, I mean, that was an excellent, I didn't know that. I mean,
yeah, and Viterazzi actually recommends putting a little squirt of WD-40 on your brass bushing on your exhaust every time you fly, so that you get a good freedom of movement in there. That freedom of movement allows the stress to be absorbed during backfires and stuff like that on your engine when it's under a higher pressure. If that brass ring is locked up and seized to the pipe and the springs are not able to move and stretch, then that pipe is going to absorb all of that pressure. So it's a design criterion. If you're not putting WD-40 on your bushing, changing it at regular intervals, doing a slow warm up, I believe you get people that are just blowing them out very quickly.
Well, the whole point is that whether it's a warm-up issue or maybe the warm-up issue is part of the problem or whatever, the fact is that it has something to do with the temper of the steel, because no matter what, it still shouldn't do that. And and you're probably right. It's probably a thickness thing.
It is. They just made them lighter because you still have to go back, Brian, to the classics. They weren't breaking. They weren't cracking.
No, they were not.
My guess is the pipe is probably twice as thick, on the older ones,
All right,
well, that's exactly why people go to the Vortex. The Vortex, they complain about it being a little heavier, but I mean, what do you want to have a cracked pipe or take a chance on one, or do you want to have a solid exhaust?
And all this talk about weight, take off the 5 ounces of fluid less.
That's right. That's exactly what I've been told when people start out worrying about weight. Don't put as much gas in it.
So I'm sorry, I got my exhaust.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So there's my exhaust.
I think my exhaust is here.
And then, so they told me that my bushing was, or from the picture, it looks seized up. Here is my bushing, which I was told is non-existent. This is less than 38 hours which is supposed to be a 50-hour ring. So if your ring fails before 50 hours, is that my fault or is that the company's fault?
So I have a question for you. Did you WD-40 it every time you flew?
The ring?
Yes.
No.
Brian?
But they've changed those rings now too, Shane. So
yes,
they've changed them.
Yes,
so
and
they should really supply you with.
Here are the new springs.
Yeah,
and the new bushing that does not say anything about WD-40 them every flight. So, like I said, I got this bushing and these springs that are supposed to be less tension at Palm Bay Flying last year.
You got oil in your fuel.
Yes,
you got oil in your
tons.
fuel. You shouldn't need WD-40.
Well,
Walter,
it's
not the same, Walter,
but here
no, but it's true. There's enough oil in there to keep that lubricated.
Here's
and plus, it's made out of.
Let me ask you guys something.
It's an oil-based material. It's like impregnated.
But when you when you've changed your exhaust on a Vitarazi Moster 185 and you pulled it apart and you take that ring out, does it feel oily or is it dry as a bone? Because mine's always been dry as a bone.
This is dry. This is exactly
stuck it inside the pipe.
Why would they?
So the oil and the gas is not going to be able to get to that ring. Is what
guys, I'm not saying the only reason is the warm-up procedure. I mean, obviously, Vitarazi is learning as a business. They've come up with an MY19 replacement bushing for that. They've been given away freely at fly-ins by the handfuls because they realize they need a little thicker bushing on there. They redesigned the exhaust into a two-piece, and in the next year model, they know they've got problems. They're dealing with it. But I'm just saying, if you follow the manual and do the
Walter, hit mute. Walter,
I agree with you, Brian, and I didn't read the manual and I haven't done any of that stuff, but I'm kind of like you. I'm a stickler. That's why I use the oil that they recommend, because if things go wrong with the engine, what can they say? If I've done what you've told me to do, what can you tell me?
They're gonna screw you is what they're gonna tell you. Because Brian, you're gonna do exactly. You got the Y19. You're gonna do exactly as they say in that manual, and you're gonna get freaking screwed because you didn't cross an I or dot a Y or whatever. Dude, I'm telling you, there's nothing I've done wrong for this exhaust to crack. And I'm telling you right now, spraying this with WD-40 does nothing. It's not going to change anything. It's an escape route for them as a big company to take your damn money, charge you an arm and a leg for something that's not worth pennies. And well, I'm paying $350 for a new exhaust.
The fact is they've changed it. So they're at fault, and they should replace everyone that has the old machine.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
That's why they changed
it's
it.
It's inferior product, or it's not big enough. The other one's bigger, isn't it? The new one.
That's what she said.
Bushing, yeah.
They just ran out of money and they won't be able to do it anymore.
No, they're literally screwing everybody that paid good money for their product. They're saying to everyone else, "Hey, thank you for your money. Screw you and enjoy yourself." That's exactly what they're saying.
What motor are you going to go for then?
I got something on Facebook right now or whatever from a paramotor, Josh Stanolin, and this is interesting because what you guys are talking about. He said, "I'm going for the world record in paramotor exhaust crack. I have about 25 hours of flight time and have my 5th Minari 200R exhaust on the way. The motor is running 30, I don't know what all this means, but 32.1 redline oil and is non-clutch. The exhausts are cracking between 1 to 3 flights in the exact same spot." So, and he's having problems.
Yeah, I've seen that. The Minardi have problems too.
They all have their problems.
Huh?
I'm
Minardi
interested.
Stratos. Have you seen?
I'm interested.
Minardi
in a company.
Stratos.
Hold on, Walter. I'm interested in a company that says, "Hey, my product's failed. I'm willing to stand behind it."
Hey guys, I gotta sign off, man. Y'all take it easy.
All right, retiree.
All right.
Peace out, guys.
Hey, he's got a bill.
No, I just think if a company says, "Hey, I want this much money for a product. This is the product. It's the greatest product ever," and it's not, I think they should stand behind it and say, "Hey, I appreciate your business, and here you go. Here's a new exhaust. We gave you crap. We gave you crap, and we charge you for full price." I'm beside myself with this whole exhaust thing. It really is. I literally had to get a home equity line of credit to get into the sport, and for them to charge me as much money as I got charged and sell me some crap, I think is one. It falls on me. It does fall on. I do take responsibility for not really getting into it, but as a very new pilot, I just didn't know. I didn't know. Ignorance is not an excuse, but truly, I did not know that the Moster 185 was.
So if you had to do it all over again, what would you go with?
I have no idea. I haven't researched anything outside of what I bought, because I can't afford nothing else.
Well, I mean, yeah, but the thing is, man, is that the Moster 185. I mean, that's the top of the line. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yes,
even
exactly
they
what I was
and
told.
They have the exhaust issue. They have the exhaust issue, and you're right what you're saying. I can tell you right now, if they've decided they're not going to cover it, there's nothing you can do about it.
No,
everybody from now on is going to be screwed on that deal.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a Y19 and you have not got covered, or it hasn't broke yet, when it does, you're not getting coverage. Just so you know.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna
found that one out too, and I'm getting
So did you get your exhaust, Sean?
No, that was a gas cap for the Jeep. Another Amazon thing came, but no, I think it's not going to make it here tonight. It's already almost 10 o'clock, so they're probably going to deliver.
Yeah, I think
tomorrow.
I'm fixing to jump off here myself.
Yep. I'll call
Yep.
it a day.
Me too.
Time.
I had fun tonight. Thank you guys.
I've been watching you when I was trying to type up a paper.
I think Brian got a little upset about the Vitarazi bashing.
Yeah, I don't
understand.
I don't understand. I just said what I know, and to me, they're lucky to have done what they've done to everybody. Otherwise, they would have one of the worst names around. I'm sorry. That's a big issue. It's a big issue, and I'm glad they did something about it, made a better exhaust, and replaced everybody's. But I still see faults. It's just like that bush, Shane, and I'm sorry to say, they've changed the bush, whether either it's a different material or it's just bigger, thicker. Now, what I said is a lot of those brass types bushings are oil impregnated, so they really shouldn't seize. Now, you might go and check your exhaust. Okay, it's cooled down. That thing may be seized in there, but I guarantee you when that engine's running hot, that bush would be moving around. It's what it's designed to do. Right? Now, if it's chewing out, what does it mean? It's not the right material. So they've changed it. It doesn't matter. It's not saying
to change out
a Vitarazi motor is the best choice. I'm not saying it's a piece of crap. It's made in Italy. I'm Italian. I'm proud of it. But I still see faults, and as a manufacturer, you've got to repair it or make it better or replace it. And that's what they've been doing up to now. Now, if they don't want to do that anymore, Shane, that's bad luck for you, but it's not good for them as a manufacturer.
Well, no, it's bothering their bottom dollar. So
Yeah.
as a consumer, now like Marcus said, what motor am I going to go with? I have no idea yet. I haven't. First of all, I can't truly afford. I spent everything I had on my equipment and my training. Outside of that,
yeah.
So I'm going to have to sell this motor. I'm going to have to work the pole, which is probably going to take me 17 months to make 72 cents. But
I'll give you $1 right now. Come on.
Damn it, man. I'm working on it.
I'll give you $1 to stay off the pole.
Exactly. Shit, I made $2 tonight. Damn it.
You might have to give me more than $1 to stay off the pole, Walter.
You're trying to give me a pie. I already got one.
Yeah.
And cookies.
Cookie pie.
Cookie cream pie.
We need to ask all the people. We need to ask all the people that are listening to this or are going to listen to this. Have you had any problems with your exhaust cracking? And if you did, did warranty take care of it? Let us know in comments down below.
So when
I can
We definitely want to know.
I can guarantee you if your name is Tucker Gott, warranty will cover it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or Mark Honeycutt or
Yeah, exactly.
Woody, Game Tagger. Yeah, you're no questions asked. Hey, I haven't even changed this thing. I got 100 hours on it. It broke. No worries. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But
that's because they know one word can cause a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Shane, you got a new one.
I don't have a Vitarazi, so I don't have that problem. I've got a Rotax, which doesn't crack exhaust. But
Yeah,
if
but
I
do you
did
carry that
have one,
Rotax on your back?
No, but it's the way I still say no, but I'd love to. I still say it's the way the exhaust is actually hung. That's another issue. I've played around with go-karts for many years, and the exhaust is virtually the same, and I've never had one crack.
And
So,
Walter,
and that's just basically on a
microphone is still
go-kart.
very loud.
Walter,
I'm sorry.
You guys know who Woody Hayes is, right?
Oh yeah, Game Tagger.
Oh yeah.
All right,
No,
so Woody.
not gamer tag. Woody Hayes is different.
Yeah. Shane, what
Yeah.
I was asking is, did they replace it for you?
No, they told
No,
me
they
middle
haven't.
finger to my forehead.
No.
That's what I thought you were saying earlier, but I've been trying to take care of dogs too, so I'm trying.
So Woody Hayes is y'all. Some of y'all know who he is. He's a little crazy, but
Yeah,
he was
is.
at EFD with us, and I was putting a friend of mine, Stephen Posey's new paramotor together, and we were putting it together. And he was mounting his Moster, and it came to put the exhaust on it. And Woody was like, "Hold on just a minute," and he goes, "Let me show you something." He goes, "Let me show you a problem with the exhaust mounts." And what he showed him was that if you put the exhaust on there, the way everything's drilling,
See his turn to drill the dog.
everything's drilled and lined out, that it puts the mount on one of the holes in a bind. He goes, if you'll drill that out, it takes a bind off the exhaust. He goes, that is part of the reason they're cracking. So I'm sure it's a number of reasons if you put it all together.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering why Shane didn't get one replaced and why other people have.
Because at this point now, I bought my motor just over a year ago, but it broke within the first year. The problem is they've had so many claims that their bottom dollar is now being affected.
So you're just like the draw of someone who's not going to get a replacement like the others did.
Because of their bottom dollar.
Right.
I literally cracked this exhaust and said to myself, it is not gonna get covered under warranty. Shannon put on my Facebook page when I posted it on Facebook. I said, my flying's done at the Dave Purdon fly-in because of the cracked exhaust. She came in and said, no worries, Shane, it's under warranty. Yeah, 2.5 months later, I get Go ahead, Walter.
Vitarazi just changed factory, plus they've had some COVID problems within the factory. And I think you'll find that they're not monetary. I think it's just with the shift and everything that they've done to the newer factory, and then they've had some COVID cases with workers, and I think production is down. I'd be right if it was mine, Shane. I'd be writing them a letter in Italian as well, like, you know.
Actually, I'm thinking
Italians, we express things a little different.
Actually, I'm thinking about writing or emailing or contacting, I should say, the Better Business Bureau, because screw them being in Italy. They got to sell their shit here, and if they got enough complaints by Better Business Bureau, then they ain't gonna sell shit here. And
I sell worldwide, man.
We don't know.
So you know,
we don't know. I mean, did they say that you're just not going to get your claim, or
I will
are
not
they still
be
asking you?
No, they told me. They said they denied my claim first of all because it was outside of the 1-year warranty, which was not outside the 1-year warranty. It was within the 1-year warranty. So then they said from the picture, it looks like the bushing is frozen in the exhaust. So I then did a video of me literally taking bolt cutters and cutting the springs off of this exhaust and pulling the bushing out, which wasn't seized in there at all. And they said, well, your bushing should have been changed out sooner. Well, this is a 50-hour bushing and I have 38 hours on it. So how is that my fault? So they are not covering it because the bushing should have been changed out sooner. So
is there anything on paper?
Okay, so
is there anything on paper anywhere about this WD-40?
I haven't, Walter. I haven't seen anything about WD-40. I know with these new springs, I've seen the new springs and the bushings that I got at Palm Bay Fly-In last year. That's when I got these. I changed out the bushings and the springs. And then I'm within the 50 hours. I'm not even close to 50 hours. I'm about 12 hours shy of 50 hours. And they're telling me that this bushing should have been changed out sooner. Well, how can what consumer is told they should change out their oil every 3,000 miles and your car blows up at 2,000 miles and they say, well, you should change your oil sooner.
Yeah.
It's the same damn thing. Sean, what was your question? Sean.
You said
completely destroyed.
What's that, Sean? Sean, where did you go?
Where did he go?
Blink if you can hear us.
Well, Brian, if it's any consolation, man, I'm on your side. I think they've done you wrong. I mean, if you're within the time period, it shouldn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. It's a well-known fact that these things break for many different reasons. They all break for whatever reason. I got screwed. I'm getting screwed, and
maybe you should have broke it sooner.
Here's the thing. I've actually been told by my teacher that I need to run this motor harder because I don't run it hot enough. And I've still broke this exhaust. Like I was told by him in a text message. He asked me what my process was for warming up the motor. I told him. He said, you don't need to do it that much. You can cut out part of this steps and start flying sooner. So the warm-up process, I think I do, if not exactly what the manufacturer requires, maybe even a little more than I should. And it's just an excuse. That's all they're find any excuse. You're I don't know, you're exhaust leak is the reason why your exhaust broke. The spring's not being shiny enough. Is why your exhaust broke.
Well, we'll see if they do anything for me. I doubt it. That's why I bought the that aftermarket, because I knew that at least I was going to be able to fly.
I still have to tell my wife I bought a exhaust. I forgot to tell her that.
That's all right.
Hey, Amy, can you send
Shane,
me a pie?
didn't they replace yours?
Please read my mind. I was thinking maybe I should
Nick
use your
Griffith
pie.
said get a Vortex exhaust and give them the finger.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
If it was only $40 difference at the time. So I was just like, you know what? I just went ahead and bought the
How much was
the
that
white
exhaust?
one. Tax tag and title was $350 shipped to my house.
Yeah, you could have got a Vortex a little bit cheaper than that.
Just
A little bit
cheaper.
How much more?
I got mine for $298.
See, for that much difference, I might as well just get factory or OMC or whatever it's called.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this, everybody I know, everybody I've talked to, everything I've read on those Vortex pipes, they don't have issues at all.
They don't. That's what I had on my Classic at first too, because the guy that I bought it from originally replaced it with a Vortex Arrow, and it was a good pipe. Matter of fact, I had a lot of thrust, a lot of power in my engine. This engine just doesn't feel like it has the same. So maybe if I replace it with the Vortex and it has more, power, maybe it's the exhaust. Well, I won't know until I replace it though.
Well, as I'm telling you right now, I will not buy anything else from them. Like at some point, I'm gonna get close to being grounded, and I will. I don't care if I got to sell my camper, which I use 2-3 times a week or a month. I will.
What
I
about
will
a
not
kidney?
Oh,
Man, you can get like 15 grand or 20 grand for a kidney, I think.
Not this kidney. It's been worked extra overtime.
They'll have to drain the beer out of it before they can use it, right?
Hey, this thing is like a
squeeze it out like a sponge.
Yeah.
just drink a bunch of water. Your kidneys are fine. It's the liver you have to worry about with alcohol.
Grandpa, did you say the Vortex gave you a bit more power as well?
Well, originally I had the Classic, the 185 Classic, and the guy that I got it from replaced the original pipe with the Vortex Arrow. And I don't know what it was like beforehand, but I know that when I got the Classic, it had lots of power. Then I sold that so I can get the new My 19, and it just didn't have the power as the Classic did. I was always wondering why. So once I replaced this with the Vortex Arrow, if I have more power then right there, then we know that there's something going on with the pipe. And then Shane will figure out too if my 20 pipe has more power or feels like there's more power, more thrust when he changes.
Pop can really change your power up higher or lower to where you want it to. So different pipes will give you different power and different RPM.
And just so everyone knows, we are not bad-mouthing any motor. We are discussing what's going on personally with our own experiences with something. This is not hearsay. This is not from somebody else. We heard about this pipe. We heard about this. No, my pipe broke. I decided to get a Vortex Arrow. Shane's pipe broke. They denied his claim for the warranty, so we decided to get a My 20 pipe. So we're just talking about our experience. We're not talking about anybody or any factory or any.
No.
This is just our experience. This is how we feel.
I mean, it's been talked for probably 2 years or more.
Right.
And if you really go down to it, if you see what Kyle O's crack pipe was all about, well, he gave them the worst wrap up anyway, as far as I'm concerned, and got away with it. And he got a new pipe, so I don't see Shane It's
just
not
go
fair
go
to
make a
what they've
video,
done to him.
Shane.
Yeah.
No, trust me. I'm at. This is as far as it's going to go with me. I don't want to. I don't want to affect the school that I went to. That this is what they sell, and I don't want a student that goes to that school or doesn't go to that school because of something I said. But
everything now is the My 20s. I don't think anybody's getting the My 19s anymore.
No, and I don't know. There's got to be. Man, I know that there was at least 12 units sitting there after I went to school that were not the Y20s. And it's just like I didn't hear anything about this damn exhaust until after I left school, and it was months afterwards, and I'm like, oh crap. So this is why I was told I need to run my motor harder, because I got a lot of lead buildup on the head of my motor, and I was told it's because I'm not running the motor hard enough. Well, I don't want to run it hard because I'll end up cracking the exhaust. What happens when I start running? What's that?
Are you running aviation fuel?
Yep.
That's why I got the lead buildup.
That's right.
That's why you got the lead.
You need to be using high octane regular pump gas.
Negative. That shit is stinky. I got my paramotor sitting right behind me. You see it? My house doesn't smell like gas. You know why? Because it's got avgas in it.
I used to run that avgas, and like he said, you get a lot of lead buildup.
So I'll clean it every now and then. No big deal.
Has anyone tried the Swift new avgas? I think that's what it's called, isn't it? Swift.
No, Walter.
They've got
Walter. There's a question in the chat from Paramotor Crazy. Question for Walter. In Australia, do the props spin in the opposite way? Just like water, like the toilet water. I'm just asking the question from the chat.
Yeah. Actually, mine spins the other way because it's the Rotax guns for a gearbox, if that helps him tell him.
The Vitarazi effect.
Oh.
I've seen something from America on the in aviation, and they're using the Swift fuel. They said the engines don't have, of course, the lead burn, and spark plugs also last a lot longer, which is very crucial for an aircraft and more so for PPGs. So I'm just wondering whether anyone has actually tried the Swift aviation fuel.
I try to
think that's what it's called.
Just because of the lead in it.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to find.
Yeah, but this one's lead. The new fuel is lead free. Grandpa.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
They've been doing tests for it in America for probably 3 years or more.
Yeah, it's available, but most of the small airports don't carry it.
Yeah, haven't.
No, I know, but you should be able to buy it somewhere.
I've been using the 92 non-ethanol gas. Most of the Walmart Murphy carry the non-ethanol. I've been using that, and I've had pretty good performance from it. It's after 10 o'clock, guys. And even though we have a full panel here and we got people watching, I think it's about time for old Grandpa to go hit the hay.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? Grandpa's tired.
I know it's time for this great grandpa to go.
After this 12 ounces of beer, I'm out of here.
I hear you. Well, guys,
that's an awful lot to drink in one sitting.
Thank you very much for listening to our long podcast. We totally appreciate it. Give us thumbs up if you haven't done so. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you want to hear on our podcast next time. If you want to get up with me, you can get up with me at ppggrandpa@gmail.com. Check us out on our Facebook at clearproptv.com. Listen to us at paratalk.org. Thank you very much, y'all. Have a great evening. And we're killing the live stream.
Bye.
Later.
I'll just say goodnight.
See you, Linda.
There's my
Bye.
talk.
See you, Walter.
Sean. Good night, Linda.
No worries. Cheers, everybody. So, I hope I did say to everybody.
John boy.
Yeah, you pissed everybody off, Walter. Thanks a lot.
I know. I'll be banned next week.
Guys, be safe.
I'm glad you were
Later.
here tonight.
Stay out of trouble,
Definitely.
Walter. I want to read about you in the international news.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Australian tries to run with a Rotax on his back.
Try to
That's
find out
it.
why your microphone is really loud and distorted. Maybe that will help next week. Just say it.
Okay. I'll try and tune it in. Thank you.
Love you, Walter.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Bye,
Come to live
Linda.